eye out for any severe threat. Everything clears out overnight tonight. 64 will be the low. Nice stretch of weather ahead. Partly cloudy, low 80s tomorrow. Mostly sunny both weekend days. Those highs will stay in the low 80s.
Mostly cloudy right now, 76 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Know what's happening, know where you stand, and know why. News Talk 830 WCCO. You're thinking about it. Jason's talking about it. There are no breaks on bold takes here. Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRusha.
Fascinating new information about how the governor of Minnesota is trying to shape his legacy. It happens with every major elected official. It's drive time. Governor Tim Walz, his legacy is blank. 651-461-9226. I know that for many, his legacy will be fraud. But I know that is a little bit of recency bias. And when you think back at these two terms of Governor Tim Walz, you have COVID, you have Democratic trifecta, you have a lot that you can choose from and a lot that the administration can choose from as to what they want to highlight. This comes against the backdrop of the executive order earlier this week to ban copper nickel mining. Blois Olson is with us on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline because in the Daily Agenda, a morning take newsletter at thedailyagenda.com, Blois wrote about some pretty interesting stuff on how the Walz administration is trying to shape their legacy. Blois, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Jason.
What stood out to you about this particular effort from the Walz administration to try to tell their own story?
Well, I mean, I had a source share with me a document, two-page document. You can find it at thedailyagenda.com, where staff in the governor's office is instructing state employees that if they want to support the governor's legacy, they should write letters to the editor or commentaries in support of the governor's signature programs and items. And I think that is, on its surface, not that far out there. However, he just did this executive order on mining, which, by the way, he could have done at any point in the last 7 years, but he's choosing to do it now. It's slightly inconsistent with his view that the process should take hold and there shouldn't be somebody putting their thumb on the scale on these environmental review projects. And just this idea that, every governor thinks about a legacy. And as I think about governors, and I'm just going to take Dayton as the quick example, but plenty before him, they had clear ideas of what became their legacy, but they emerged. Dayton had an intentional legacy decision that he made about water and investment in Minnesota's water and infrastructure around water. And he held a water summit in the waning months of his administration.
Right.
And Minnesota's value water. And so that was I want to say that we've invested in clean water and in water infrastructure for Minnesota, and that's what I want to be remembered for, period, end of story. But it wasn't a memo inside that said, oh, by the way, here, write a letter to the editor and say good things about the governor so that the legacy is there. And I think part of that is this administration, but it's also part of it is the culture of politics these days.
Yeah, we're a different world, right? You have to aggressively get out there because the truth is Republicans have been very effective at defining the Walz administration legacy in one word: fraud. It's all fraud all the time. And it has, you can argue about the degree of fraud. I think we've heard anywhere. Well, I've heard $9 billion. I mean, there are all sorts of numbers. The actual number, will we ever know? I don't know. But the impact of fraud on shaping, frankly, the fact that he's not in the race right now, to me, it's hard to top that as far as the most significant thing. What will be the most enduring thing? That perhaps that's a different question, right?
Well, and it's not like the governor doesn't have things to point to. And I've heard him say this before. He said some of it in his State of the State. In fact, I did a search on governor legacy in a few different places, including my inbox. And that was the most telling, is that from January, when he announced he wasn't running, to his State of the State, to now, there's been multiple conversations in the last 8 months about what is his legacy. What's it going to be? I will just throw this one out here because I know that it is something you've talked about on the show, and that is free school lunch, breakfast and lunch for our kids. Okay. Like, if that's the thing that Governor Walz is remembered for, that's a legacy that's not going to be highly controversial. Okay.
Right.
But again, if you are trying to figure out what your legacy is, it's more a reflection of like, well, you don't get a lot. So pick something and continue to own it. And they don't seem to be able to do that, which is really, I think, reflective of the last 7+ years.
Do you think, Blois, that is a reflection of the fact that Tim Walz does not have like a single passion? Whether it, you could latch on and say, like, my focus is going to be like growing jobs or growing business, or, maybe it is hunger, feeding school kids, or maybe it's education. This administration, because it's sort of been crisis after crisis, right? You had COVID early, you had George Floyd, you had then the ongoing fraud. I mean, it's been a lot of, and I don't know if that's just the nature of the way things, and then immigration, the way that things sort of rolled out in this state, or if it is the nature of politics today, that it is from one crisis to the next.
So I want to go back. I want to peel back one more layer, because I actually think this is something I've said for the last few years here. I think it's why we're having this conversation today, is that Tim Walz's style and personality, and what I say is his lack of executive instinct, is the reason fiscal mismanagement / fraud, George Floyd, COVID are as divisive as they are. If he was a buck stops here, I'm going to take this. It's the handling of those issues that is the most frustrating thing, I think, to Minnesotans. And so I look at that and say, fraud would be an issue, could be an issue. But Jason, we are 4 years since Feeding Our Future came to light.
Yeah. Yeah. It was before the last election we were talking about it.
And we are still not convinced the problem has been solved, i.e. stories earlier this week about the immigrant of the year as named by the Walz administration being charged with fraud.
Right. Yeah.
Like 4 years. If this would have been done 2 years ago, we would have moved on. It's the handling of it that clouds in a big way. In fact, Jason, it clouds it in the word of the day. His legacy is murky.
It's very good. Blois Olson, thank you. You can subscribe to Blois's newsletters at thedailyagenda.com, but now it's your turn. A lot of different points Blois made there. Where are you on this? What is the legacy of Governor Tim Walz? It's got to be something. What are you going to take from 8 years of Walz? 651-461-9226. I'll share what I think. Dan, maybe he'll have his thoughts. All of it when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at
be the version of yourself that you've always dreamed of being. It's Jason here. For my friends at Livia, who absolutely changed my life, they really did. Livia helped me get to my goals, losing 45 pounds. Actually, they surpassed my original goals, that's for sure. And if you've been waiting for the right time to lose weight, the time is now. Livia has nutrition experts. They have medical team. They will create a personalized, well, I say they will create. You will create with them a personalized weight loss plan. It's designed all around you, your health, your goals. For me, I needed nutrition coaching. Maybe you need medical weight management or GLP-1 support. What I loved about my experience with Livia was the combo platter of cheerleading and accountability. So they kept me honest. And here I am 4 years later. I've kept that weight off because I keep going in. You're going to get that one-on-one support. You're going to get lasting results. And it all starts with one call and one free metabolic health assessment, because it's more than just losing weight. You got to get the whole picture put together. It's all just for you. Can't get that online. 855-GO-LIVIA. Livea. 855-GO-LIVIA. Tell them you heard Jason talking about it. Or go to their website. You can book that free metabolic health assessment at livia.com.
Saving money when you shop at Menards. We have an excellent in-stock selection of Whirlpool appliances. We carry great brands at the best prices. Ready to take home today. Whether you want new laundry appliances or need upgrades for your kitchen, you'll find appliances that'll make your life easier. View our selection of Whirlpool appliance options today on Menards.com. Plus, check out our weekly flyer and find plenty of great deals happening this week.
Save big money at Menards. When you need someone to listen, a lawyer you know and trust.
Hi, I'm Mike Bryant. If you've ever been injured in a collision, choosing the right attorney may be one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. But how do you know who to trust? That's exactly why we created our new website. It's filled with helpful information designed to answer your questions before you ever pick up the phone. I especially invite you to visit our Why Choose Bradshaw and Bryant page. It explains our experience, our commitment to our clients, and why certified trial lawyers can make a difference. Visit minnesotapersonalinjury.com. That's minnesotapersonalinjury.com. I sincerely hope you're never in a collision, but if you are, call us first.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
Confidence and pride, working harder, going farther, with Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
Is reviewing life insurance on your to-do list? Now's the perfect time to add it. A friend recently told me that securing life insurance sooner rather than later can help you lock in lower rates for years to come. So I bumped this up on my list and got it done. I called SelectQuote and couldn't believe how easy and affordable life insurance is. I'm 40 and got a $500,000 policy for $16 a month. My husband's also 40 and his $500,000 policy was only $18 a month. Plus, with SelectQuote's same-day coverage, there was no medical exam required, and we were covered by the time we hung up. Knowing I have this checked off my list feels amazing, but the peace of mind knowing my family is protected feels even better.
Call SelectQuote at 1-800-329-1010. That's 1-800-329-1010. Or go to SelectQuote.com to get your free quote today. That's 1-800-329-1010. Details on example rate at SelectQuote.com.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington. And Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility. Now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
I think that's a recipe for chaos.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Someone pour me up a double shot of whiskey. They know me and Jay Daniels got a history. There's a party downtown near 5th Street. Everybody at the bar getting tipsy.
I don't think the Walz legacy is going to be fraud. I don't. I do think the ongoing legacy will be massive spending and some of these social services programs that are going to be pretty hard to undo. I think Blois nailed it with the free school lunch. I think the free school lunch will be part of Minnesota. It's something when I was in Chicago, when Tim Walz was running for vice president, a cashier at a grocery store was asking me about Tim Walz and asked about the free lunch. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's the sort of thing that most people look at, and I know it's become a political hot potato, and there are different ways that it could have been done. Maybe instead of making it for everyone, I probably would have means-tested breakfast and given everybody lunch. But my thesis on this has always been if you were to design today from scratch a system that required people to show up for public education, you would not require kids to pack a lunch. It's just crazy. You would not require it that way. I think you look at the family leave. If that survives, family leave, paid family leave, I think that's going to be pretty good. Now we'll see if the numbers work out, if we can make it work. But those are two programs that have a massive impact on people's lives. And I suspect that will be the legacy. So many texts coming in. So let's go. At 651-461-9226. I'm a twice Walz voter. I think his legacy will be running for VP and having failed. Maybe. He blew $18 billion with the help of the trifecta, gave us peanuts back. That's a legacy of his. Walz destroyed Minnesota education. Come on. I mean, obviously the Walz haters are having a field day. Will forever be fraud and watching Minneapolis burn for 3 days, and he did nothing. I think the legacy of the state slow response will be part of his legacy. I also would throw out for consideration that the fact that we had some of the largest protests in the history of this state with 0 fatalities should also be part of the legacy. So I know people wanted quicker intervention. I think it was a tactical error to allow the police precinct in Minneapolis to be taken over by protesters. But you know what? We'd be having a real different conversation if somebody got killed in a battle to try to save that police building. So I do think that some nuance is required in that, because would any of you guys have guessed that no one would die in all of those protests? How fiery they were, how tense it was. I think that's part of the legacy too. Dan?
I love that you want to have a nuanced conversation about this, because I think that's missing terribly in our political discussions. I'm just not sure we as a society are capable of that anymore.
Yeah, maybe with the lens of history, but who knows?
Maybe, but that's where I wonder if there even is a quote-unquote the legacy with the governor anymore.
Is that even possible?
We're so partisan, we're so polarized, we're so siloed that one group's going to have fraud as, that's their whole legacy when it comes to Tim. And another group's going to see social programs and they're going to see other things. And I don't know that there's room for those to come together anymore. I think we've sort of put up our barbed wire and nary the two shall meet. I just know that when I think of the governor at this point, the first thing that comes to mind is a lack of accountability on several, and that covers not only the fraud situation, the fact that nobody was ever fired. Yeah. Nobody was ever, I mean, there's never any, okay, we're going to clean this up and here's what I'm doing to do it.
What a mistake.
Just enormous mistake on his part. And then you can even go back to, with the commenters talking about Minneapolis and his lack of action there. And then when the question gets asked, why did it take 3 days to get the National Guard here? He just pointed at Jacob Fry and said, well, the mayor had to ask me and he didn't ask me.
Which
is
then
also
documents proved that the effort to throw Jacob Fry under the bus there was just wrong because the documents indicated how much Jacob Fry was trying to get.
And even if it was true, and you're right, the documents show that it wasn't. Even if that was true, that's the world's worst answer to that question.
Right. You didn't
is
fill
to say,
out the
well,
paperwork,
you
right?
didn't ask me, and so I can't do anything. You're the governor of the state, and the biggest city in your state is under siege, and you literally don't lift finger because you have to wait for the mayor to come to you. Come on, it's just disappointment and lack of accountability. That to me is his legacy.
Texture from the other side say the relentless attacks on Walz are ridiculous. There's no other state official that's been faced with the kind of challenges he had to face. It's unprecedented if you read the list. COVID, George Floyd, a president attacking him, etc.
Okay, so we don't get to criticize any of those
No,
things?
it's just saying that's part of the legacy too. And I think
It's
that's
certainly
true.
something to be accounted for, but
I think that's part of the legacy that this period in our state's history. Now, every governor has something massive, right? The 35W bridge collapse was a massive part of Tim Pawlenty's legacy, and how that was dealt with, I think was very positive for the state officials in that time. I voted twice for Walz and have liked him. I'm an independent. I believe he went off the rails when he ran for vice president. His persona changed completely. I didn't care for him. After he lost, he came back to Minnesota with his head still intoxicated with national attention. He lost his interest in our state. It's pretty interesting. COVID will be my remembrance, says another texter. Walz's legacy is how big of a dork he was on the VP campaign trail. I thought he was fine on the VP campaign trail. If he won, all you losers who are like, tampon Tim, give me a break. He lost, and so you get to take your whacks. Like, I have been very critical of Governor Walz picking fights with President Trump because that's a national play. It doesn't do jack to help our state. And I hate to be proven right in this case, Dan, because I would rather have the state be doing great. But I do think that's part of it. Jason, worst governor in Minnesota history. I'm a moderate. When I work with anyone from out of state, the first thing they ask is to see the Leering Center in George Floyd Square. I would just say, it's important to consider, who are you exposing yourself to, right? Like, if you're a business leader, exposing yourself to other business leaders who watch Fox News, they're asking about the Leering Center. So I don't know about that. Walz, what comes to my mind is what I believe skillful handling of the pandemic. It is interesting. In the early days of the pandemic, I thought the governor did a tremendous job. I think overall, I would give him a B- or a C+ for pandemic. Yeah, you can say we shouldn't have shut all that stuff down. Nope. Yeah, totally agree. But I thought the way they were handling it was decent. Texter says, just for all the Walz haters, the Republican Party needs to take responsibility for not running electable candidates. State's going to crap and they're focused on abortion. It's an excellent point. The base of the Republican Party is obsessed with abortion. Still, I think a lot of the party is obsessed with that issue, such to the point that there's a group of people who they don't want to support Michelle Tafoya because she's pro-choice. There are bigger issues to deal with in this state, in my view. Great participation. Appreciate all the texts. I regularly communicate with people from all over the world. Minnesota is a laughingstock. I just would say, if you truly believe that everyone around the world thinks that Minnesota is either a laughingstock or Minnesota is a paragon of justice for the response to immigration, both of those views, you need to talk to more people. You're just talking to people who think like you, who watch the same media as you, who get the same algorithm. Part of what we try to do is hopefully cross over some of that stuff so you can realize there's a broad spectrum of how people think about our state. And I hate to break it to you, most people don't think about our state at all. I'm sorry. Is it Milwaukee? Is it Minneapolis? I don't know. Let's break. Where's my money? That's what I want to talk about in just a minute. It's not a political conversation. It's a corporate conversation. Where's my money? Because companies are getting money left and right, and I'm not getting squat. The tariff refund situation. How mad are you about that? 651-461-9226. Drive time back in a minute.
Drive time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason here to talk to you about Culligan water. Oh, do I love Culligan water, and I'm not exaggerating. We've got Culligan water at our home in Maple Grove. We got the whole suite. We got Culligan, reverse osmosis. This thing is so cool. It's hooked up to an app, so it tells me when the filters need to be changed. It tells me how much water I've conserved by using that instead of bottled water. And then I got the water softener because Maple Grove water is a lot of suburban Minnesota water. It is tough. One of the great places to learn about what Culligan is up to is at the Minnesota State Fair. And once again, the Culligan Hydration Station is an awesome place for you to go. You can bring your reusable water bottle into the fair and take it over the Culligan Hydration Station. They'll, you just go fill it up. It's free, no problem. But then when you're there, you get the chance to talk with some of the Culligan experts from all over the state. And they've got crazy promotions, including an ability to save up to $500 on qualifying Culligan products. So maybe you want the reverse osmosis system like I have. You're getting $100 off that. Say you want to combine that and you're like, I could use a water softener as well. Well, you're getting $200 off the water softener, and then you get a bundle deal. So good stuff. Lots of bargains. Nothing cooler than the Culligan Hydration Station at the State Fair. Stop by. Tell them you heard DeRusha talking about it. Get that free refill at the intersection of Cosgrove Street and Dan Patch Avenue, right near the Snelling entrance. These offers are limited time, by the way, so make sure you see your dealer for details.
Hello.
This is your bank's fraud department. We've detected some unusual activity on your card.
Oh, really?
Did you purchase a corn dog at 10:14?
Yes.
Cheese curds at 10:19?
Mm-hmm.
A bucket of cookies, 2 lemonades, deep-fried ranch dressing, and something listed only as a meat tornado?
All me.
In 13 minutes?
Well, the lines were short.
I'm removing the fraud alert.
Oh, phew.
And I'm adding a wellness check.
Oh.
Now, we understand you might overdo it a bit at the fair. So while you're at it, why don't you come and binge a little of us as well? News Talk 830 WCCO. We'll see you at the Great Minnesota Get-Together.
Your mortgage is probably your biggest bill each month. Imagine having to pay it twice. It can happen if you buy a new home before you sell your current one. You need a real estate agent who knows how to find buyers fast. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, know how to get the job done. Nate and Keisha were worried after their house sat on the market for more than half a year with a different agent. They had bought a new home before their previous one sold, and they felt stuck. They've been hearing me tell you about the Good Neighbor agent and knew they had to call John themselves. John's marketing system reaches thousands of potential home buyers every day. It helps him routinely sell houses fast and for the most money possible. John's marketing system found them a buyer in just a week. It sold for full asking price. They were so happy. Curious what your home is worth? Just type in your address, johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. JohnSchusterGroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
At Odyssey, we believe in creating a diverse and inclusive workforce. We also value the power of community and encourage local organizations to help us in referring qualified applicants to our stations. If you're a community organization interested in receiving our vacancy information, simply email equalemployment@odyssey.com. You'll be notified of all our open positions. That's equalemployment@odyssey.com. And for all our listeners, please visit odysseyinc.com/careers for a list of job openings at all Odyssey radio stations.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2026 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Everywhere you look, things are getting more expensive. But at Consumer Cellular, we're lowering the price for those 50 and up. Now you can get unlimited everything for just $35 a line. That's $35 a month for unlimited talk, text, and data. Switch to the carrier ranked #1 in network coverage and customer satisfaction and get unlimited everything for just $35 a month. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit Consumer Cellular online or in-store today. Price includes $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes and fees apply. Data speeds reduced after 35 gigabytes. Rankings done by 2025 ACSI survey.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 100 southbound between 50th and France and Robbinsdale, a crash being reported by the State Patrol. If you're headed that way, expect to slow down right around Robbinsdale. The State Patrol is on scene. 94 westbound stop and go between Cedar Avenue and the Hennepin-Lyndale area. That's the downtown Minneapolis stretch. Solid rush hour volume right through the curve there. Highway 169 northbound between 94 and 77th Avenue in Maple Grove. An accident on the left shoulder. That slowdown starts around 63rd. Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro.
An air conditioner at Metro Heating and Cooling is, on average, only $5,400 installed. Find out more at metroheating.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Metro Heating and Cooling bringing us the CCO weather forecast. We're watching some rain. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through by evening. Everything clearing out later on tonight. Mostly cloudy down to 64. The next couple of days look quite nice. Partly cloudy and 82 for our Friday. This weekend, plenty of sunshine both days. High stay in the low 80s. Next best chance of rain likely next Tuesday.
At least right now, looking at live radar, most of the rain has moved out into Wisconsin, Menominee, Rice Lake, Spooner, Hayward getting wet. There's some heavy rain just past Redwood Falls, sort of headed towards Gaylord and Glencoe and Hutchinson. That's sort of what we're keeping an eye on right now. It is dry in downtown Minneapolis, cloudy and 80 on CCO.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I sort of feel screwed by this Target deal. Target got a big refund check for tariffs. And I don't believe that I'm going to see the benefit of any of this. Do you? So Target yesterday reported that they collected a billion with a B dollar tariff refund. $1 billion. And this goes to the whole farce of our economy, of tariffs, of all of this. Where it just, if you are like me and you feel like the system is rigged against you, you feel like this, right? We all feel like this. The system is rigged against us. The President of the United States imposes tariffs, says, well, Americans aren't going to pay these tariffs. It's going to be the foreign countries. And of course, what happens is Target pays the tariff to import stuff. They raise their prices. You and I pay the higher price. And now that the Supreme Court threw out the tariff, Target gets $1 billion back. They get to have a nice day at the office and talk about their wonderful earnings. Good job. Good job, Target. You doubled your profit. Well, yeah, I'd double my profit too if somebody sent me $1 billion check. It's not just Target. Apple, for example. But remember, Apple just raised all of the prices on all of their laptops. That cheap laptop that they introduced, that they're like, oh, this is going to be the $599 laptop to compete with like the Chromebook or $499, whatever. Oh, that had to go up $100. You know why? Tariffs. Oh, the tariffs. Tariffs are rough. Big old tariff coming at you. Apple has received $2.2 billion so far in tariff refunds. Did you get any of that back?
Still waiting. Watching that bank account like a hawk. It should be dropping in there any time now.
The system's rigged against us. And it's frustrating. And I understand the technical part of this is very difficult for a company to navigate, right? If you're Target, how do you track through everybody's purchases, what everybody paid, and how are you supposed to pass that along in an equitable manner? I don't know. But Target does have enough data collection that they seem to know when people are pregnant before they know that they're pregnant based on the products they're buying. So could we figure it out? I don't know. But don't you feel hosed by this? Nike is another company that the government has reimbursed. FedEx has been reimbursed. So far, we have almost $10 billion in refunds this past quarter. Now, Target said that they are committed to cutting prices. And that's how they're going to give us
And I'm committed to winning $1 million. Which one of those things is going to happen first?
So I do believe Target will cut prices. I do believe that they're going to be more aggressive, especially looking at how many families out there, how many of you guys feel squeezed right now. Do I think they're going to start selling products below their cost? No. Do I think they're going to lose money by way of passing this $1 billion back to you or me? No. Do I blame Target for this? I don't know, 1 to 10, how much blame do you give to Target? 651-461-9226. I'm about a 2 or 3. Like, I'm not really mad at Target. I'm mad at the whole thing, which we knew was stupid from the beginning. We knew it, right? We knew that we were going to be paying these tariffs in the form of higher pricing. We knew that the president was sort of pushing the legal authority of his to enact these tariffs without having Congress be a part of it. And in the end, we got screwed. We paid higher prices for almost everything. There was no policy success. The idea of like, oh, well, these tariffs are going to lead to more American jobs. Well, they didn't last long enough to find out if they would have or they wouldn't have. Texters say if they can track me while shopping and adjust the prices accordingly, they can figure out how to return the tariffs money. Now, Costco has said it will return U.S. tariff refunds to its members in some form. That's like me telling my wife that I will pick up my dirty underwear off the bedroom floor in some form. In some form, I'm going to take care of that problem. In some form, I will put away the dishes. We got screwed in this deal. I'm just telling you. Now, a texter says, my Trump-loving friends don't care. They will gladly pay the extra gas prices, the extra tariffs, because they believe in Donald Trump. They don't care about the tariffs because they believe in Donald Trump. And one of our biggest Trump supporters in the YouTube comments right now is saying it was the Supreme Court that screwed us on the tariff ruling. I would just argue that this was utterly foreseeable from the beginning, that the Supreme Court was going to throw out what the president did. But the president doesn't care. And you can say it's art of the deal. We ended up with a better deal. Is there? What's the better deal? Who won in the tariff situation? It's who always wins in this country. Corporate America won. If you are rich and you have a bunch of stock, maybe you're going to win. But regular people who are just trying to go to the store to buy stuff, to put food on their table, get school supplies for their kids, they are screwed. What else is new? Texters say, I'll be curious what Target's CEO bonus will look like for 2026 now that they've received $1 billion back. I mean, again, I don't know what the CEO could have done about it. You had to pay the tariff. You logically filed a lawsuit. I wish there were some more significant approach to try to get us the money back, the people who spent the money and paid those bills. Now, long term, if a company like Target, which is fighting to survive in an Amazon world and survive against a newly revitalized Walmart, if the tariff money gives them a little cushion to kind of refocus on their stores and do a higher quality job keeping the shelves stocked and keeping the merchandise intriguing and interesting, ultimately, I'll be happy with that. That's good for our community. That's good for our economy. That's good for all of us. It's good for property values. But it's hard to take the long view right now when you feel like, man, these guys everybody's having a steak dinner celebrating their earnings with that $1 billion check they got from the government, and we get nothing. And you just are left like, does anyone even care? We care. I care. Cook, you care.
Mostly. Totally half-baked idea just off the top of my head. But if you're Target, do you do some sort of rebate program, some sort of refund deal where you say, hey, if you come to our stores and you spend X amount of dollars, it's 10% off, it's 20% off, X, Y amount of dollars, Z amount of dollars, 30% off, and we're just going to use this refund money from the tariffs.
We get $1 billion.
We're going to use that to knock, so A, you try to get people back in your stores, which is something they're still working on.
Yeah.
Although it appears people are starting to go back to Target. So that drives people
doing
into
a better
stores.
job. I think they're
and
doing
you
a
don't
better job.
crush your own bottom line as Target because you're using the refund, the tariff refund money to fund this.
Now, they probably, of the tariff money they spent, some of that, like some of it, it's suppliers. Like it's not, we didn't pay $1 billion higher prices, right? Like they probably took some price increases where they thought they could. I understand the complexity of it. I'm just venting. And it is a reminder that when someone tells you that the tariff doesn't impact us, it does. Let's break. In a minute, National Radio Day. You are not going to believe what we got today to celebrate National Radio Day. It's fabulous. Celebrate with us when we come back.
And with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
There are times in life where you have that horrified feeling, that scary moment. Maybe it's your electrical panel. You got a storm coming through and the thing, you hear the zzz, pops. Or maybe you plug in like the pizza oven. This happens to me sometimes. You plug in the pizza oven in the wrong outlet in your kitchen. You hear the pop. You're like, oh, no. When you have an oh no moment with your electrical or your plumbing, I want you to call Randy's. Randy's Electric, headquartered right in Maple Grove. Their trucks and their techs and their experts and their electricians and plumbers are all over the metro area, ready to respond to whatever. Well, for you, it's a crisis. For them, it's another day on the job. Because that's what they do. They've been doing it for more than 2 decades in the Twin Cities. Responding to your oh no moment. I was talking to somebody last night at our meeting for our trip to go to Ireland, and she was like, "Oh, I hear you talking about Randy's Electric, and you talk about a drain that shouldn't be gurgling." She was very entertained by the term gurgling. Sometimes a sink should be gurgling. Generally speaking, you don't want the gurgle. Nobody wants the gurgle. Randy's will fix it. They arrive prepared. They'll give you the options clearly. They'll provide honest pricing before they start work, and the same-day repairs are possible too. I just want you to remember, Randy, you maybe don't need them today, but when you do, call Randy's. Call Randy's.com. Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
I'm here with Alec Sherrod, a top mergers and acquisitions attorney with Helmuth & Johnson. Alec, Minnesota laws can be complex. How do you make sure you're on the right path?
At Helmuth & Johnson, we help businesses and individuals navigate Minnesota's laws with clarity and confidence. We understand how Minnesota's laws and courts work, and we guide you every step of the way.
So it's not just knowing the law, it's knowing Minnesota.
Exactly. Practical advice, local experience, real solutions.
If you're looking to buy or sell a business, go to hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight illnesses like pneumococcal pneumonia and RSV. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and can help protect you from getting really sick. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. See more at PfizerForAll.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 100 southbound between 50th and France. Over in Robbinsdale, they've got an accident being cleared. Expect to slow down right around Robbinsdale. The State Patrol's on scene, so they should be getting that one handled. 694 eastbound in Fridley is stop and go between Silver Lake Road and 35W. They're still working on that accident on Highway 169 northbound between 94th and 77th up in Maple Grove. That one's on the left shoulder. The slowdown starts now back at just after 36th. 35W southbound between 106th and Cliff Road, still stopped due to an accident over there, so be prepared. That's a look at the roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jason DeRusha here. The Canopy Group represents 16 different insurance companies, not just one. They give you options. Each year, they'll review your program so you don't have to, making sure you get the best coverage at the best price. Do like I did. Go to thecanopygroup.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast courtesy of the Canopy Group, and we are watching for showers and storms possible by the evening. They'll be moving out later tonight, mostly cloudy overnight. Low of 64 tomorrow, 82. Saturday, 81. Nice little stretch here. The average high is 80. It's going to be just about perfect. We need the rain, that's for dang sure. 80 right now on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
Just because he thinks he has a louder voice does not always make him right.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I can feel something heavy on my heart. I can feel.
Dan, happy Radio Day to you. Happy National Radio Day.
Happy National Radio Day to you, Jason, and to all of our listeners who enjoy radio.
I read something today that Gen Zers, some new listening data indicates Gen Zers are more engaged in live radio than like millennials and Gen Xers were. That there's some desire for the anonymous ability to listen where no one's tracking your data and that sort of thing.
And that does track because we've seen a lot of stories about Gen Z and their desire for authenticity.
It's kind of cool. Do we need a Gen Z co-host on this thing?
You mean additionally to us, not replacing one of us. Don't give them any ideas, man.
I wouldn't mind that.
We got a Gen Z movie correspondent, right? Yeah,
right.
So some more Gen Z voices, great. I'm all for that. In addition,
if that's you, if you're a listener, you're a Gen Zer, you got a bit, you want to be a part of the show, let us know.
Send us an email. come see us at the fair. We'll work it out.
I heard Chad talking about people's favorite radio shows. Do you have a favorite, like whether
all
it was
time
growing up or?
I have
Yeah,
great
all
memories.
time.
Like, I mean, I've grown up, not to be biased, but I mean, listening to this radio station.
Sure.
Memories of driving around with my dad, listening to Canon, and especially Point of Law. Of course, my dad being a cop, was always interested in that sort of thing. And so, yeah, we'd love listening to that stuff.
I love Mishki. Like, I remember when he was on KSTP, I would be working at night as a reporter, and I'd turn on Mishki, and he was late night here for a bit, too, right? Loved Mishki. That guy, just his storytelling was so good.
Yes, excellent.
But I grew up in suburban Chicago. Talk radio is what I listened to, and news radio. WBBM in Chicago, just boring news wheel. But, I'm this news junkie.
That fits.
And WGN in
You mentioned heading to the break, what we received.
Oh, yeah, right, because we're a part of radio. It's National Radio
Day.
Day. The company wanted to celebrate us. And today I got an email.
Yeah, I did too.
That said, did it say congratulations? What did the email actually say? But we were awarded. Well, first it said you've been recognized. So the email said you've been recognized. And I had a moment where it was like, hey, that's pretty freaking cool. You've been recognized. Which of my coworkers nominated me for something? It's just the company gave me 20 Odyssey rewards. Dan used his rewards for a beautiful big dumb cup, one of those giant Stanley mugs. So I'm saving. Now I'm up to 20. Continental Diamond time check 358.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Jason here for Tureen Dermatology. I was just at Tureen Dermatology up in Roseville talking about hair loss. This month is Hair Loss Awareness Month. And maybe you've noticed some hair shedding, hair thinning. Now is the time to take action. When I was visiting with Dr. Mohiba Tareem, we were talking about my hair loss. And I've had some hair transplants. And part of the strategy with talking with my dermatologist is to figure out, how do I keep the hair that I have? My sons, college-age sons, are thinking about the same thing. And there's more and more research and evidence to show the earlier you intervene, the better luck you can have in keeping your hair longer. If that's important to you, go see Tureen Dermatology. Every hair restoration journey starts with an evaluation. They got board-certified derm providers. This is better than getting your advice from TikTok. Get it from Mohiba. Mohiba Talk. Get to Tureen Dermatology, Tareen, dermatology.com.
News Talk 830 WCCO, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
From ABC News, I'm Lindsay Davis, anchor of Prime, streaming weeknights on ABC News Live. The latest news cycle seems to be spooking investors with a lot to worry about, from debt to inflation to rising oil prices. The Dow fell more than 700 points, or 1.3%, with the S&P and NASDAQ close behind. Bigger picture, the debt America owes, which the Treasury says just surpassed $40 trillion, with no agreement on what to do. It's going to cost Americans in a lot of ways, says ABC National Security and Defense analyst Mick Mulroy.
We're going to be paying more in interest on the debt per year than we're going to be paying for our defense budget per year.
U.S. debt is now more than the economies of China, Germany, Japan, UK, and India combined. Following President Trump's latest threat to Iran of an economic doomsday of sanctions, international crude rose 2.4%. Today, the USS Abraham Lincoln left the Mideast for the long trip home. A New York woman who was 10 when terrorists attacked on 9/11 is now accused of trying to help the Islamic State group. Investigators say Jessica Bowie converted to Islam and pledged her allegiance to ISIS. ABC News Chief Justice Correspondent Pierre Thomas has more.
The charge is providing material support to a terrorist organization, in this case ISIS. And again, they are maintaining in this press conference is that this woman had deadly intentions, according to the FBI and the Department of Justice, and that she was embarking on a plan to carry out an attack on the state capital of New York, in which she was plotting to allegedly kill members of that state Senate.
Neutrogena is apologizing today for its treatment of Hayden Panettiere, who said she was dropped for speaking out about her postpartum depression after a social media backlash from fans since her passing. Neutrogena admits it made her feel unsupported during a very difficult time. A statement says this is not what Neutrogena stands for or who we want to be. You're listening to ABC News.
This is breaking news on News Talk 830 WCCO.
It's 4:02. I'm Laura Oakes, and we are following some developing news this afternoon. Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison and Ramsey County Attorney John Choi have just announced that they have secured agreements and injunctions that will prevent two rival gangs from attending this year's Minnesota State Fair, which opens a week from today. WCCO Susie Jones is headed to a press conference with Ellison and Choi and the State Fair police chief to talk more about this ruling. Prosecutors had argued that those gangs have been violent before at the fair and had recently posted on social media they were planning a big fight there on August 29th. We will have the very latest from this hour's press conference coming up in our news at 5:02. A federal judge in Texas will hear arguments next week on whether to grant Minnesota's request for the courts to force the extradition of a federal immigration agent who is criminally charged in Hennepin County.
The hearing, set for Tuesday, comes as a 90-day deadline draws nearer for U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement agent Christian Castro's release from custody in Cameron County, Texas. Castro is charged with 4 counts of second-degree assault and 1 count of falsely reporting a crime in connection with the non-fatal shooting of Julio Sosa Solis on January 14th in Minneapolis. Castro was arrested on May 29th and has been held in Cameron County Jail since then. Minnesota officials have tried repeatedly to secure Castro's extradition, but Texas Governor Greg Abbott, who hasn't formally responded to those requests, had this to say at a recent press conference.
And I will not respond to them at all until they step up and do what's right and they acknowledge their fault.
Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830. WCCO.
Charges are now filed against a 25-year-old St. Paul man after he allegedly shot at a Ramsey County Sheriff's deputy from point-blank range in Maplewood Tuesday night. DeMonte Chavez Liana is charged with 4 felonies in connection with a road rage incident that included pointing a gun at a woman in a minivan and then later shooting at and fleeing from a Ramsey County Sheriff's Office sergeant and his canine partner. Liana will make his first appearance in Ramsey County District Court tomorrow morning. Newly released data from the Minnesota Department of Employment and Economic Development shows the state saw a slight decline in jobs in July, down 0.1%. DEED Commissioner Matt Varelick.
And at the same time, our labor force size decreased again, this time by about 4,000 people. Moving on to the unemployment rate, we ticked down 0.1% to 4.3% in July. And the U.S. unemployment rate also dropped 0.1% to 4.1%.
A warning from the health department about an outbreak of E. coli due to contaminated alfalfa sprouts. The sprouts were sold under the Calco and Everything Sprouts brands and are linked to a multi-state outbreak. 23 Minnesotans became ill between July 8th and August 8th with salmonella poisoning. A collective rejoicing and sigh of relief for many Twin Cities motorists is coming tomorrow. Highway 280 on the border of St. Paul and Minneapolis is reopening after being closed since April for construction. MnDOT's Nathan Bowie says there's a change to one of the on-ramps to be aware of.
If you are coming from westbound 94 and going northbound on 280, that entrance now is just one single lane, so folks should be prepared for that, pay attention. Drive smart as you prepare for that new configuration.
Bowie says there may be some periodic lane or ramp closures on 280 after the state fair to finish up a few details. WCCO News Times, 4:05.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by Lyuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Highway 61 northbound in Newport between 70th Street, Summit Avenue there and Glen Road. If you lost your mattress, I found it. It's right in the middle of the highway there. Might want to run and grab it. If you're headed east on Highway 7 between Shady Oak Road and 17th Avenue North in Minnetonka, there's an accident on the shoulder there, so be aware of that. A little further down on Highway 7, both directions are slow. Right near the exit ramp for 100, there's a fender bender being reported down there. LaUna, Minnesota reminds you to slow down when you see orange cones and yellow vests all year round. They're working to improve your infrastructure and build a better Minnesota for you. Please slow down, save lives, and keep construction workers safe. Brought to you by LaUna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. Darren Kimmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you. An array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget. Only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me you heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
And here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be passing through this evening. We'll keep an eye out for any severe threat. Everything clears out overnight tonight. 64 will be the low. Nice stretch of weather ahead. Partly cloudy, low 80s tomorrow. Mostly sunny both weekend days. Those highs will stay in the low 80s.
Mostly cloudy right now, 76 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Yeah, everybody's got an opinion, but not everybody has information. News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRusha. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington. Now, here's Jason DeRusha.
Is Olivia okay? I think that's the question Lynx have after truly one of the most incredible rookie seasons of any professional Minnesota athlete. It's Drive Time. Jason here, Dan, Laura. And let's get right to Star Tribune, women's sports reporter. She covers the Lynx. She covers it all. Cassidy Hettesheimer with the Star Tribune is on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker hotline. We saw that moment of Olivia Miles leaving a little early, this little ankle thing. What do we know, Cassidy?
Yeah, so as of just a few minutes ago, actually, the team released its pregame, availability report. All WNBA teams put them out at least 24 hours before tip-off of their next game. And in that, Olivia was listed as probable for Friday's matchup against the Washington Mystics. They're traveling cross country there, but we'll see. Nafisa Collier get some rest, and she'll sit out of her first game since she's come back. So I think all in all, a pretty good sign that Olivia is listed was probable there. That if it was something more serious, then she would have just been ruled out entirely. Typically, the way those availability reports work, something like probable will be around a 75% chance of playing. So, chance that the Lynx see her tomorrow, and if not tomorrow, then I would say likely Monday when they're back here facing Golden State.
Talk to me about what we saw during that win last night in Golden State, because, Golden State and the Lynx, number one, number two, but, outside of a strong second half sort of push by Golden State, and the Lynx look tough.
Yeah, I mean, Golden State has the highest rated defense in the entire league, and they have, pretty consistently this season, just in terms of, the shooting splits they're holding opponents to, and the defensive rating that they've been able to put up, opponent points per game. And defense has been something that, Cheryl Reeve has been kind of hammering home with the Lynx ever since they kind of turned this corner into July, and just have been kind of clear atop the league standings, wanting to make sure they're maintaining that part of their identity. And I think that we saw yesterday with, a team like the Lynx, they can get the job done defensively and sort of match that intensity when they're playing their best on that end of the court. But they just have such a versatile offense with so many scoring options. And Golden State was looking to try to cash in from deep and just couldn't convert. But the Lynx offense is much more multifaceted than that. And Olivia Miles has played a big part in that. And they were able to, make them pay even against a really good defense.
Olivia Miles now has the most 3 points made in a rookie season in franchise history, passing Maya Moore. when you look at this season from Olivia Miles, when you started covering this team, I mean, did anyone see the level of dominance? I mean, you're crazy if you're not talking about Olivia Miles as a straight up MVP, not just Rookie of the Year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, she's so quickly, sort of surpassed those Rookie of the Year conversations and inserted herself into, all WNBA first team. Pretty much, I would say, a lock at this point. I think that kind of coming into the team or coming into the season at draft night, Cheryl Reeve was talking about how important the point guard position is. And if you can kind of bring in someone that you think is going to be a franchise, potentially dynasty, like point guard, like Lindsay Whalen, and bring that in and kind of usher in, an era of the team with them running point, then that's something that you want to do. But there's such a learning curve at that position, right? Like you're kind of handed the keys to the team's offense, and the ball's in your hands a lot. And, with that can come turnovers and mistakes. And, not that, Olivia hasn't had those moments at times, but,
sure.
It's been rare. It's been few and far between. She's shown that she can play make, she can score, she's versatile and just kind of balances that, like, running a really efficient and machine-like offense while making it look fun as well. And just like they're having a ball out there on the court. And so, yeah, it's been, super interesting to watch up close. And, just from people I talk to that follow along as fans, as spectators, they're having a blast as well.
Washington is next. Then Golden State is back at Target Center on Monday. When you look at the rest of the season, what are you watching for as the Lynx sort of head towards the playoffs that they've already clinched a spot in?
Yeah, the Lynx have already clinched a spot, like you mentioned, and then that win over Golden State gave them a pretty clear path to maintaining the number one seed. Now 4 games ahead of Golden State, as well as holding the tiebreaker in their season series over them. And so it would take a pretty sharp turn in order for them to lose a hold of that here with 7 games left to play. But, they definitely still have a pretty tough schedule coming up with, like you mentioned, Washington and Golden State. They go to Atlanta as another playoff team. Then after the FIBA break, that'll put them through mid-September. They get New York, Connecticut, and the Indiana Fever twice. So it'll be a good test. I think what I'll be probably looking out for most is, kind of rotations and what we think that Cheryl is going to play lineups-wise and minutes-wise, kind of as they push into the playoffs. I think, the bench will shorten, and it already kind of has as they go into the postseason. And so it'll be interesting to see what they like, what they don't like, and maybe how they can, anticipate some of these matchups of teams that they might, play here in the next few weeks and then see again come the postseason pretty soon.
I mean, Golden State has been so impressive this season, but they just can't quite crack the Lynx, right? There's something about the Lynx that, for you, is it the game planning? Is it the coaching, or do the Lynx just have too many weapons?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously, two great coaches on either side of that matchup. I mean, Shari, 4-time, coach of the year, and she's given, even pregame yesterday, was giving kudos to Golden State's Natalie Nakase, who was 2025 coach of the year, for what she was able to do with that Golden State expansion team. And so, but I just think that, Cheryl knows how to utilize all those weapons, like you mentioned, that the Lynx have. I mean, I think that they have 5 players on the court, now with Lisa Collier back, that could, wouldn't be a surprise to see anyone of them drop 20 points in a night. And that's just something that very few teams can say. And so if someone's having an off night, they've got ways to sort of counteract that. So, well,
you never know when Kayla McBride is going to launch 10 3-pointers and score 43 points, right?
Right. Yeah. It's always a threat.
Maybe I hope she has more left in the holster. We don't need to, you don't need to get 43 points in one night necessarily. It's pretty fun. Cassidy, I hope people are plugged in. This Golden State rivalry with that team back on Monday has been fun, especially as, let's be real, the WNBA headlines have been largely about, political issues, social issues, personality conflicts, big superstars in the league. And Golden State has the number 2 seed, and they've just sort of been doing the work. The Lynx, for the most part, also have not been courting controversy other than perhaps the one game where Indiana was in town and Cheryl Reeve had the T-shirt about protecting trans kids. Otherwise, the Lynx have not really been in the throw of most of the WNBA controversy.
Yeah, I mean they've been, like you mentioned, there's so many good storylines and so many interesting matchups and stuff that'll come. And I think once the corner kind of turns into the playoffs and some of these matchups 1-8 and 2-7 and start kind of crystallizing, I think that the basketball storylines will be ripe for the taking. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of
what people
there.
grab, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Cassidy Hettesheimer, thank you so much. Women's sports reporter, covers the Lynx for the Minnesota Star-Tribune. Thanks, Cassidy.
Thanks for having me on.
Good stuff. Go get those tickets for Monday night, right? In advance of the State Fair. The breaking news that we heard at the top of the hour, and there will be a news conference in the next 10 minutes or so talking about the deal. The whole thing is so weird, isn't it? Like, well, we're going to court to try to get these gangbangers. Is it that easy? Could we go to court and just get gangbangers to stop being in the gang? Is that a thing? You just get a court order and they don't come? Well, we're not admitting we're in a gang, but like, all right, I guess no all you can drink milk for me. I just wonder where you're at about the fair and safety. Are you reconsidering? I'm impressed with the proactive measure to try to shut this down using the civil court. What do you guys have to say about it? 651-461-9226. Are you changing your plans at all? We'll talk about that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Go see Dan Dingman and the crew today, or always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
The experience that I've had at Luther Kia Bloomington is absolutely through the roof. It's Jason here for Dan Dingman, for the whole team at Luther Kia. I'm a Kia owner, as you guys know. I've got my Stinger. It's over 100,000 miles. Went to Luther Kia Bloomington to get new tires because they got a price match guarantee. And why wouldn't you? And I tell you, it was a great decision because 1 week after I had those tires put on, I ran over some broken glass and I had a flat tire. Luther Kia said, no problem. They replaced it. It was covered. Boom, boom, boom. That's the advantage you get of going to the dealer who knows your car better than anybody else. Now, gas prices are up again. I'm sure you've noticed, over $4 a gallon. Check out the Kia Seltos. They got the new 2026 Kia Seltos in stock, $399 a month to lease for 36 months with no down payment. How about the 2027 Kia Telluride, that 3-row Telluride? Great zero down payment deals on that as well. You're going to want to get all the details at lutherkiaofbloomington.com or go on out to their brand new, beautiful store at 35W and 494. Absolutely gorgeous. But that Telluride is one sweet ride and zero down lease deals. Check it out. Luther Kia Bloomington or lutherkiabloomington.com.
Gear up this fall with the new All-Pro battery by Steel. Tackle any task with 60% more peak power. Exclusively available only at your local Steel dealer. 60% peak power comparison between AP300PC and AP300S.
You know that feeling when your body is tired, but your brain just won't shut off? We've all been there. Jordana here. That's where CBN comes in. CBN, short for cannabinol, is a naturally occurring hemp cannabinoid known for its relaxing, sleepy effects. Think of it like the lights dimming signal for your brain. While CBD helps you stay calm, CBN helps your body know it's time to rest. That's why we call it CB Night Night. Mini Leaf Night and Night Plus Sleep Gummies combine CBN, CBD, and CBG to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, and then wake up feeling refreshed. Go to minileaf.com, MINNELEAF.com. And here's big news. If you need your product today, there's no wait. Stop into any of the 16 top 10 liquor locations for better sleep tonight.
Hey, it's Brew. Between my radio show, filming content, editing videos, and trying to stay connected with family, reliable Wi-Fi isn't really optional anymore. I just need it to work. That's why I like that with Xfinity, you get the most reliable, fiber-powered Wi-Fi with the best equipment at one price for 5 years, guaranteed. No contracts or commitments. Plus, Xfinity makes getting connected simple with same-day Wi-Fi so you can get online in minutes. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Use of fiber or coaxial cable. Learn more at xfinity.com/same-day Wi-Fi. Xfinity. Imagine that.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Can you blow my mind?
Pretty wild, right? Like, can you remember the last time somebody was taken to court because you're trying to prevent them from committing a crime? I will say I like it. Generally speaking, when you're looking at crime in Minnesota, you know, law enforcement can try to intervene to prevent, but we mostly respond, right? Something bad happens, you show up. Something bad happens, you call the cops, they show up. This idea of getting out in front of it, and we know that police, investigators throughout our community are listening. They're listening on social media. They're watching social conversations. They're trying to be the best position possible to prevent crime. But the idea of taking suspected gang members to court to bar them from the state fair because they were planning on having like a giant battle royale there. I will say, like, the Ramsey County attorney, the investigators, Keith Ellison, the attorney general, I am impressed at the proactiveness here. And I'm not going to think twice about the fair. I will say that over the last 5 years, my parental instinct to allow my kids to be at the fair alone at night has sort of, it's a no for me. And when my kids were 15 or 16 or 17, I would let them go to the fair with friends. And today, would I let a 16-year-old go to the state fair? I guess, what time would you say you... I think when the sun goes down, you got to come home. 651-461-9226. Tim is in St. Paul. Tim, has your attitude on safety in the fair, has that changed at all?
A little. I think last year the gates closed on the last day at 6:55. I was more afraid of the police than anybody else. It was ridiculous. The overkill, the helicopters. They closed 5 minutes early. I couldn't even get into the fair. It was ridiculous, the overage, and I strongly disagree. The fair should be open till at least midnight. We're paying $20 to get in. It's over. The greed is ridiculous. A few gang members should not be causing the fair to be ruin it for the rest of us. Some of us work late and we like to go to the fair.
They didn't change. They didn't change the hours because of crime or gang members, did they? I think the hours are the same. They've always been open till 11.
I think they did.
Did
it
they?
happened after the shooting a couple years ago, I think.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, I just.
I don't remember it being open
police-
until midnight, but you could be right. I could be wrong on that.
Well, when I was a real little boy, it was 1 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, I'm 59, but you know, just the police there were. I thought on it made me very uncomfortable. The police presence, and I'm a big supporter of the police.
Right.
They can't do their jobs in Minneapolis, you know, and it's gotten really ridiculous. You know, I mean, I don't know. I would never want to be a cop in Minneapolis. I mean, the leadership at the top is horrible.
But, you know, we had, I mean, here's what's different. Today, you have gangs that operate in a different way than we remember them operating in the, you know, late 90s or even in the early 2000s, where there's not necessarily a central leadership. And so in 2024, 3 people were shot and wounded in that parking lot near the State Fair. And there was sort of that melee. I think one of my kids was actually at the fair when that was going on in 2024. In 2025, you had another gang fight near the Midway. And this isn't just a Minnesota problem. We've seen this at state fairs around the country because we're seeing it at like high school graduations, college graduations, any sort of public place becomes maybe an easy way for people to try to settle a score and escape. I don't know. It is a little scary to me. I feel ya on the like, man, when you see a bazillion cops out there, it doesn't say, let's go check out the dairy barn. You know what I mean?
Yeah, well, it was absolutely ridiculous. It seemed like they were all on a power trip as well, guarding the fence. I was mad because I got in on time and they didn't let me in.
Yeah.
You know, and I had a bunch of tickets and stuff. I lost about $100 in value by them closing 5 minutes early for no reason.
Yeah.
I was angry about that, and they all had attitudes. It was really made me mad. And by the way, to stop these people, we need enforcement. I think they should be using real bullets, or I mean, the cops need to shoot to kill these people. I mean, the people know the game.
No. Tim, that's quite a turn from like I was intimidated by too many cops, but I do think they should shoot to kill. Is that a good idea, you think, at the state fair? Dan, 1 to 10, where are you at on shoot to kill with gangs at the Minnesota State
Negative
Fair?
975.
I mean, could you turn it into like a grandstand type game?
Oh gosh, no.
No?
No. That's an even worse idea.
But if you hit, then you get like the giant gorilla.
No.
These are bad ideas. Sometimes we get talking, we have an idea. Sometimes it's a bad idea. Can any private business now ban people preemptively, says a texter? So if I know you're in a gang, can I bring you to court and ban you from ever entering due to fear or a potential incident? It is interesting, right? There are some legal guardrails around this. So Minnesota law, Susie Jones was explaining this to me yesterday, that under Minnesota law, there is a legal definition of a gang member. And you have to meet 9 different, check boxes.
Criteria.
That make you officially a gang member. Which I didn't know membership was that complicated. Like, I'm in the Minneapolis Club. I'm a member there. I didn't have to check that many boxes.
Not even nearly as complicated. I wonder if there has to be some sort of pretext too. Like, obviously this happened because, and obviously the attorney general and the county attorney could go to court and say, look, here's the messages that were sent out threatening this fight.
Yep. And
it isn't just saying, hey, if you're in a gang, we're going to ban you from the fair. It's saying, oh no, these people are threatening this thing, and therefore we're going to ban them from the fair.
Your question is well placed, and there is a mid 2000s law that sets up sort of a gang. It's a very interesting law. It's a civil gang nuisance law. So there's criminal law that defines what it means to be in a criminal gang. And then there's civil law that says if there are at least 3 separate incidents in a period of not more than 12 months, you can use a civil law to ban someone. So no, you can't just preemptively ban anyone, but you can preemptively ban. Well, you can't preemptively do that.
Now we're back to Tim's suggestion.
That's there's a former deputy sheriff who said, "I am dying inside right now." The texters were as curious about that last phone call as I was. What a turn. What a turn. Let's break. I still can't believe he said all these cops all over the place. It really, and they closed the thing down, and they closed it down 5 minutes early, Dan, and I lost. Think of the money I lost by closing it down. I don't understand why they don't just open fire with real bullets. You never know what you're going to hear on Drive Time with DeRusha. I guarantee you that.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So I was texting earlier today with my friend Alicia, who is one of the great style consultants at, I don't know if that's her title, I just made that up, at J.H. & Sons, is Jason for Alicia and for Bryce and Chuck and for Jeff Halberstadt. The whole team at J.H. & Sons. The H is for Halberstadt. Jeff is the J. His sons are awesome. And they have built an absolutely beautiful men's clothing store. I'm going over there Monday because I got to get, I just wanted something for my trip to Ireland that I'm going on with a bunch of 37 CCO listeners coming with me and Alyssa. It's going to be awesome. And then it's wedding season. I just got invited to a wedding. Dan, I thought I was too old to get invited to a wedding, but here we are. Weddings, fundraisers, galas, whatever event you have in your life, J.H. & Sons is there for you. But it doesn't need to be an event. Chad was complimenting the shirt that I'm wearing today. If you're watching on the live stream on X or on YouTube or Facebook, this shirt is from J.H. & Sons. So they can upgrade your style for date night, for vacation, and yes, for back to the office. Go talk to Alicia and Chuck and Dean and Bryce and tell me you heard about it on Drive Time with DeRusha. But go to J.H. & Sons. They're at the Galleria in Edina. Easy to get to, tons of free parking. You can visit them online and sign up for their VIP email list at jhndsons.com.
You have 47 tabs open. One about the weather. One about the upcoming election. One about that restaurant opening in St. Paul. And one you opened 3 weeks ago and have no idea why. We have a suggestion. Close the tabs and get caught up on everything you need to know, all in one place. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mike Rowe here with a random fact. More than half of the homes that have basements in North America will experience water damage. It's true. Whether it's basement moisture, flooding, or bowing walls, do yourself a favor. Call Groundworks. I spent some time working with these guys. They're the real deal. Their people are trained and certified to waterproof your basement and stabilize your walls. Innovative Basement Authority is now Groundworks. Schedule a free inspection.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Our mission is to provide our clients with the knowledge, tools, and confidence to feel comfortable financially today and secure about tomorrow. Find out if it makes sense for us to work together at 651-204-3000. Again, that's 651-204-3000.
Midwest Money Management, 17316 Kenyon Avenue, Suite 104, Lakeville, Minnesota. Securities offered through JW Cole Financial Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Advisory services offered through JW Cole Advisors Inc. Midwest Money Management and JWCA are unaffiliated entities. Paid for by Minnesota Real Estate Team.
I'm not one to say I told you so, but I switched to Pure Talk over a year ago, and ever since, I've been telling people there's no better wireless company out there. Well, a few months ago, a massive survey was conducted. 123,000 people were asked to rate their wireless carrier in 4 categories: coverage, support, data, and overall value. Well, the results are in. Guess which wireless company was the only wireless company to get 5 stars in every category? Yeah, Pure Talk. 5 stars every category. To celebrate, Pure Talk is offering the first 3 months of any plan for just $15 a month, including their top-tier unlimited plan. No contract, no commitment, just a very inexpensive way to test drive the only American wireless company with 5 stars in every category. Just dial pound 250, say micro, and Pure Talk's U.S. customer service will take it from there. Again, pound 250 micro. And yes, I told you.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty. Puka, Bella, I'm sure you've noticed some changes.
Who are you talking to?
I'm just practicing for when I have to tell the dogs about the twins. You know, because they'll...
Be fine in the spacious third row seat.
But the twins...
Can sleep peacefully thanks to the rear manual sunshade.
And what about the...
Extra cargo space for strollers and dog beds?
I guess you're right.
Can we go to the hospital now? The contractions are getting closer.
The 3-row Lexus TX, because everyone should feel like the center of the universe. See Lexus of Wayzata and Lexus of Maplewood.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
We have a crash on the shoulder if you're headed east on Highway 7 between Shady Oak Road and 17th Avenue in Minnetonka. Be prepared for a little slowdown there. A crash on 94 eastbound between Cedar Avenue and Riverside. So 94 is crawling from the Lowry Hill Tunnel over to 280. 694 eastbound between Highway 10 and 51 in Arden Hills. An accident being reported. That's kind of dragging things over there. 494 eastbound stop and go traffic between Highway 100 and Nicollet Avenue. Likely tied to the 494 construction over there in the Edina Richfield area, plus some heavy volume for rush hour. That's a look at the roads. I'm Derek Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana Green here. I pray you and your family are always safe. But if there's ever a time where you need an advocate after an accident, let Mike Bryant of Bradshaw and Bryant help you. He will work with and for you in dealing with the insurance company. Call 800-770-7008 today. Bradshaw and Bryant, seeking justice for the injured.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Feels like it's going to rain. It's only raining right now in New Ulm, St. Peter, Le Center, Faribault, towards the south, Northfield, Cannon Falls, coming towards you next. We'll see if this comes into the Twin Cities or not. Here's Chris Schaefer.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through by evening. Everything clearing out later on tonight. Mostly cloudy down to 64. The next couple of days look quite nice. Partly cloudy and 82 for our Friday. This weekend, plenty of sunshine both days. High stay in the low 80s. Next best chance of rain likely next Tuesday.
Hey, if you're seeking justice and you're injured, Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys, incredible people over there. They bring us the weather forecast. Right now, it is 78 on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I'm dropping bombs of genius every day on this show.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
DeRusha. He has the eats.
Nobody brings you the Twin Cities restaurant scene like your favorite foodie. Now, Jason explores some of the great chefs, owners, and stories right in our own backyard. Drive Time now transitions into DeRusha Eats.
DeRusha Eats brought to you by our friends at the Minnesota Pork Board. Pick a side. Pumpkin or apple. 651-461-9226. We are at pumpkin spice latte season. It's happening. It's on the menu. And it debuted today at Caribou Coffee. You could call in if you want and tell me that you think it's too early because it is August 20th. But when I went to Caribou today, there it was. Pumpkin spice latte. And do I think it's too early? No, it's fine. No one is making you order it. You don't have to order it, right? Like, people like people really like those seasonal drinks, right? Caribou, though, is trying to figure out what is the future, because pumpkin has been sort of the king for the last, 15 years or so? And so what Caribou is doing is they are leaning into apple. Would I prefer apple? So, like, you can get an apple foam? Do I want an apple? Do I want foam? Is that like whipped cream? Is foam different from whipped cream? Are they trying to make us think like it's healthier? It's apple foam. I don't know. I think it's very interesting. One of the things I've been fascinated by with the beverage space is that I love coffee. I love coffee shops. I love going out for coffee. I like the ritual. I like the vibes. I like the fancy modern shops. I like the coffee shop that's got like 1 million plants. There's a backstory in the North Loop. I think that place is beautiful. I like Fragment. I just like coffee shops. But you know what I get at the coffee shop? Coffee. Black. No room for cream. The coffee shop for me, the beverage experience, I am not looking for your foo-foo, foamy, whipped creamed, spiced, pumpkined, appled. Can I just get a cup of coffee? And sometimes you have to look at the dang menu and like, where is the coffee? Can I just get coffee? Lots of response on YouTube right now. Audrey is all in on apple. All in on apple. Boo pumpkin spice, says Audrey. Our friend Barb says it's definitely too early, especially when they run out of the fall drinks in the first week of October. Textures are all coming in on apple. Maybe Caribou's onto something here, right? I'm willing for science to try which one of these. Do I need the foam? Is that what we're doing? I'm not sure. Starbucks comes out with their pumpkin spice latte August 25th. What day is that, Dan?
August 25th?
Yeah.
That would be Tuesday of next week.
All right. So Tuesday. Last year, Starbucks broke sales records when it launched the pumpkin drinks. Because that's the bit. So this year they have Honeycrisp apple. So it's a Honeycrisp cold foam on top of the iced caramel latte. What I want you to do without knowing, Dan Cook, guess how many calories are going to be in a foamed, latte'd, whatever it is.
What size?
Medium? I don't know.
839.
All right, let's see if I can figure this out. If I were a better host, I would have already looked this up. The Honeycrisp apple caramel espresso shaker, medium, has only 460 calories.
No.
That's not that bad. Now, if you get the caramel latte with Honeycrisp apple cold foam, that's what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a cold foam situation. Now you're having fun, right? Do we need all the, good for them. They're making money. People are drinking it. When I go to the coffee shop, I am the only person drinking coffee. Everyone's got, and people are like on their TikTok doing their coffee shop reviews, and they go to a coffee shop, they're like, my favorite drink is the lavender latte, rainbow sprinkles, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, or they'll be dissing some coffee shop because they don't like their drinks. And I'm like, how's the coffee? All right. Caramel latte, Honeycrisp apple cold foam. Medium, just 390 calories.
Wow, I was way high.
I thought this would be way more disgusting. Well, now 390 calories for me, like that's like a cheeseburger, right? Like that it is. Now, what about that? Now we're getting into some of the real nonsense. Honeycrisp apple. Caribou's going to hate this, right? They're like, DeRusha spent 4 minutes on the radio reading our calorie counts. I don't know. The caramel high rise looks pretty good. I got to be honest.
That's my standard when it comes to Caribou is the caramel high rise.
That's your go-to.
Yeah. I'm not sure about the Honeycrisp apple version of it, but
710 calories for that.
It's closer than that one.
Yeah. But, for an afternoon treat, if that's what you wanted, I like a cocktail. Is somebody going to sit there and read how many calories are in whatever cocktails I like to eat? I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think the Apple idea is super smart. I think it's super smart. Hey, fella, says the texter.
So you know this is going to be good.
It's not early. It's not too early. The Coburns in Delano just put out their Halloween candy a couple of days ago. Geesh, slow down.
Well, you got to get the Halloween stuff out because as soon as Halloween's done, then the Christmas stuff shows up.
I don't think it's too early. If people want, look at the weather outside today, although it's a little warm. Oh, Andrew says a caramel apple cocktail sounds amazing. We are like Honeycrisp apple capital here in Minnesota, right?
You know who hates the Honeycrisp? This won't surprise you.
ISIS?
Well, them, yes, and somebody a little bit closer to home.
Chad?
No.
Who? You?
No.
Who hates the
Adam
honey?
Carter. Pay attention. Adam Carter hates everything.
I don't listen to Adam's show. Never have.
It's okay. He doesn't listen to anybody else either.
Don't really care for the guy, to be honest. If you're aligned with ISIS and your hatred for Honeycrisp apple,
Just saying.
Honestly, what are you doing with a show on this great radio station? I don't understand. That's Drive Time with DeRusha. Texters say it might be 500 calories for a medium, but most people walk out with a 38-ounce drink.
Well, there's that.
Yeah.
That is why I asked what size.
Do they still have coffee?
Allegedly.
No, I went to Caribou.
That's the rumor.
I had a
People are telling
light
me.
roast. It was delicious. Let's break. In a minute. Big news about Harry and Meghan. And just the fact that I say Harry and Meghan and you know who I'm talking about makes you part of the problem. We'll talk about that when we come back.
Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling. Thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
Let's talk pork. Let's talk. You know what's good with Honeycrisp apple? How about a pork chop? Is there a more classic flavor combo than like a little bit of applesauce and a pork chop? I don't know. That, to me, that's like childhood on a plate. It's Jason here for the Minnesota Pork Board. 3,000 family farmers. I love this community. These family farmers trying their best to take care of their animals, take care of their people, take care of our environment as well, their soil, their water. These are families that make Minnesota great, and right now they want you to have a delicious dinner. Put flavor on the table is the message at tastewhatporkcando.com. Tastewhatporkcando.com. And when you go to that website, you're going to get a ton of inspiration. Grilled pork and sausage sliders. Doesn't that sound good? We just had pork chops on the grill earlier this week. Monday night, I made pork chops. By the way, I nailed it. It is a good feeling when you put a pork chop on the grill and it's thick and juicy. Oh, great job by me. Got to be honest. TasteWhatPorkCanDo.com. Get recipe inspiration. Get to your grocery store. Get to your butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
Twin City Framers is the industry leader building the largest wood frame projects in town, and they have immediate openings for carpenters. Here's the deal. Large multifamily carpentry pays an average of $5 an hour more than single-family homes. This is your opportunity to work for the best of the business and make more money today. If you're a carpenter or know someone looking for better pay, better hours, great benefits, and on-the-job training, then look no further. Go online to TwinCityFramers.com and apply for an immediate position today. That's TwinCityFramers.com.
If you're planning to move to a senior living facility, you know firsthand that the wait lists are long, and when an opening pops up, you should take it right away. If you need to sell your house to make it happen, you're going to need to work quickly. My friends from the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, will make sure that your home sells when you need it to. Steve and Cheryl knew when they got to the top of the list, they needed to be ready. They heard me talking about John on the radio and called the Good Neighbor agent to come up with a plan. It made it so they didn't have to feel rushed, and so that the short notice of their move wouldn't leave them stuck paying for 2 homes. When they got the call saying that a spot in a senior living center was open, they knew they had to act. Luckily, they'd already come up with a plan with John. He fired up the marketing system. Interest came in right away. Took him 2 days to find a buyer. That's it for Steve and Cheryl. Their home sold for $5,000 over asking price. They planned ahead. You should too. Curious what your home is worth? Go to johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
And Doug. Limu and I created a trick to help you remember that you can customize your car insurance and save with Liberty Mutual. You see, the shirts Limu and I wear are yellow, and yellow is the color of lemons, and lemons grow on trees, and trees provide oxygen, and oxygen helps us breathe, and breathing is how you live, and you can live more life when you save money by customizing your car insurance. I agree, Limu. It's really quite simple. Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
94 eastbound, we have a crash between Cedar Avenue and Riverside in Minneapolis. It's ugly right there. The traffic is all backed up. As soon as you come out of the tunnel, it's stop and go. So plan some extra time. 35W southbound, we have a fender bender between Diamond Lake Road and 60th Street. That's in Minneapolis. The backup starts at about 36th on that one. Highway 169 southbound is slow from 494 down to Highway 13. That's nothing new. It happens every day. That one will cost you about 12 minutes. That's Look at the Roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
For the best windows in the business that are made to order just for you, an array of styles, features that will fit your project and budget, only one way to go. My friends with Pella Windows and Doors, PellaNorthland.com. Tell me, heard this from Chad.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast thanks to Pella Windows of the Northland tonight as we watch for those pop-up showers and see how this moves through Minnesota. We're out of the clear. But we're in the clear. We're out of the woods. Tonight, the rain gets out of here. How about that? How is that? Looking at the live radar, you can see rain in Faribault, La Center, Gaylord. A little bit in Lakeville now popping up at the South Metro. So we're keeping an eye on that. Up north, no rain, just a little cloudy. Tomorrow, 82. Saturday, 81. Just perfect. Right now, it's 80 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha.
He's an operator, baby. Yes.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
I'm picking out this dress.
My better forecast.
Trying on these shoes.
Crystal clear. Nailed it. Sometimes you just step up the plate. You're like, bam. Perfection. Later tonight when my wife says, how is the show? I'm like, man, my weather forecasting game has never been better. So Harry and Meghan, I don't care. I don't care. Does anyone care? Why do we care about Harry and Meghan? And why are they going home? And I don't care about the British royal family at all. And I wish I cared a little because it seems like it might be fun to care about it, right? Like, oh, these celebrities in this sort of fantasy world and whatever. Like, I liked Meghan Markle in that Suits show. She was funny. She's stunning. Prince Harry, you know, when I look at Prince Harry, I think, you know, there's hope for a guy who's losing his hair and a pretty snappy dresser. And then I think, well, I'm not a prince. So there's
a bit of a difference.
It's a bit of a difference.
Bit of a difference.
So I think 6 years ago is a whole like F you to the royal family,
The
right?
establishment, yeah.
And now they're going back.
I think part of the fascination with it is, at the very least, it shows that no matter how much wealth you have or how much power or influence you have, families are just families.
Yeah.
And they can be as screwed up as ever, regardless of the money.
I heard they left because they're afraid of all the crime in America. That's what I heard. A Continental Diamond. You know, go get yourself a beautiful pre-owned watch. Nobody better in town than my friends at ContinentalDiamond.com.
At Wealth Enhancement, we believe wealth is in the details. Our team of trusted advisors craft personalized solutions to help you achieve your financial goals. Tune in to the Your Money Show on News Talk 830 WCCO every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. or go to wealthenhancement.com to connect with one of our advisors.
Do you want to list your home on the open market right now? It's Jason for my friend Chris Lindahl. More and more Minnesotans are asking themselves that question. We never used to wonder, right? The market was going up and up. You knew you'd have multiple people checking it out. You'd get, if you price it right, you get good offers. But right now, the whole market is so uncertain, and more people are saying, you know what, just dumping this property and moving on with my life is worth it. And so I got to reach out to Chris Lindahl at chrislindahl.com. As I drove to work today, I was driving right behind Lindahl on a bus. I mean, it was just the billboard. But the billboard had the Red Check Club. More and more of your neighbors are joining the Red Check Club because they don't want the headaches, they don't want the stress, they don't want the sleepless nights. They sell their home as is, they're done. See if it makes sense for you. There's a free smart seller guide right at the top of chrislindahl.com. Say yes, join the Guaranteed Cash Offer Club.
This is the story of the one who keeps multiple buildings running smoothly day after day. Plumbing that flows, HVAC that hums, cleaning supplies that keep surfaces sparkling. That's why she counts on Grainger. With easy reordering online and 24/7 support, Grainger helps her keep the products she needs on hand. So shelves stay stocked and buildings stay ready. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
New Game Plus with Oxy makes your laundry smell incredible and fights stubborn smells, like the ones your dog Biscuit brought into your freshly made bed last night. But you washed that all away with Game, and now you're drifting asleep to the scent and sound of waves. Ah, no, that's the dog licking your ear.
Biscuit.
It just might be our greatest scent ever, now with odor-fighting power. New Game Plus with Oxy.
Anywhere you are, everywhere it matters. News Talk 830 WCCO 1029 HD2 Minneapolis St. Paul. Streaming live on the Free Odyssey app.
From ABC News, I'm Wayne Cabot. Today's stock tumble and oil price surge. Just the latest troubling news about the economy as America's global debt hits $40 trillion with no appetite among politicians to pay it off. But it can be done. Bobby Kogan of American Progress, a policy institute, telling ABC News.
And just to put in perspective, the structural deficits in the Reagan era were the largest that we'd ever seen in history. But it took 15 years, it took 15 years to undo it, but they did it. Reagan increased taxes and cut spending in his second term. H.W. increased taxes and cut spending. And Bill Clinton increased taxes and cut spending. So you can do it.
But it's not being done. At the close today, the Dow down more than 700. Oil prices moving higher as President Trump vows economic D-Day against Iran. The Trump administration now is saying it will end the summer blend gasoline requirement 2 weeks early, trying to ease the pain at the pump. Law enforcement officials say a 35-year-old New York woman swore allegiance to ISIS, plotting an attack at the state capitol. ABC's Pierre Thomas says her extensive social media presence tipped off agents.
This is a classic sting investigation in which Jessica Bowie allegedly becomes known to the FBI because she was apparently a frequent user of social media using various aliases, according to the FBI complaint. And they claim that over the course of reviewing of some of her filings and then making contact with her using confidential informants, she began to espouse very radical views, swearing allegiance to ISIS, joining the terror organization allegedly.
The Best Buy dates for recalled lettuce from Taylor Farms have passed now, but the illnesses have not. 1,500 new cases in the past week. It can take a while for the body to react, but when it does, it does. The Dallas Cowboys and New Orleans Saints are being fined by the NFL for a big brawl, $500,000 apiece. You're listening to ABC News.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Mostly cloudy, 78 degrees at 5:02. I'm Laura Oakes. Some news out of Ramsey County District Court today that members of two rival gangs threatening violence at this year's Minnesota State Fair will not be allowed through the gates. WCCO's Susie Jones joins us live from Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison's office at the state capitol. Susie.
Laura, Attorney General Keith Ellison just in the middle of a press conference as we speak. He talked about the cooperation, the involvement of clergy and many others working to prevent violence at the fair. Again, he and Ramsey County Attorney John Choi have filed a lawsuit to keep 10 members of these two gangs, the Muddy and the Ville, from taking part in violent activity at the fair. 7 of those, he said, have already said yes, they will not go to the fair. Let's take a listen to what he had to say.
7 of 10 individuals, 3 associated with Muddy and 4 associated with the Ville, have entered into enforceable agreements that they will not attend the fair. If they comply, once the fair is over, Ramsey County Attorney's Office and my office will jointly dismiss the legal action against them.
Now, Laura, 3 others contested this lawsuit. Right now, if they show up at the state fair, they would be subject to being arrested by police. Live in St. Paul, Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Thank you, Susie. A federal judge in Texas will decide whether or not to force Governor Greg Abbott to extradite an ICE agent who is facing charges in Hennepin County. It follows a lawsuit filed by Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison earlier this week over concerns that 52-year-old Christian Castro could walk free as soon as next week. Castro is charged in connection with the shooting of Julio Sosa Solis in January during Operation Metro Surge. Service on both the Metro Blue and Green Line trains resumed today after over 7 weeks of major summer construction, but riders say they can hardly tell the difference.
I'm not even 100% sure what the upgrades were exactly. I just know that the light rail's back up now.
It was super inconvenient to have it not running, and I'm glad it's running again. I noticed that the tracks were had fresh paint on them, but that's all that I noticed.
And another big reopening has commuters smiling today. Highway 280 will be back open tomorrow after being under construction for repairs since April. MnDOT's Nathan Bowie.
We know shutting down that road for this period has had impacts, and we appreciate folks' patience as crews have done the work, but things are on progress. The road looks great, and we're excited to open it back up again just in time for the fair.
Bowie says motorists may notice a few temporary lane or ramp closures to finish up some details after the state fair.
That is going to be such a good deal to have that back open.
Oh,
it's been
my
a
gosh.
pain, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
Yeah.
That's been one with some pretty big impact, I think, this summer.
Yes, but I think they were smart to just shut it down and say, look, we got to get this open by the fair, so we're just closing it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
It's been good.
It's 5:05 on WCCO.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by Amber Scholl of Scholl and Associates American Family Insurance. 694 eastbound, there's a crash between exit 47, which is 35E, and 61 over there in Vadnais Heights. Plan some extra time over there. And Highway 100 northbound is crawling from Excelsior Boulevard up to 394. 35E in both directions is dragging from 94 up to 36, so plan some extra time on that one. Up in the north end, 694 eastbound is on the brakes from Central Avenue over to Victoria Street. Protect what matters most with Amber Scholl of Scholl and Associates with American Family Insurance. From your home to your car to your dreams, Amber Scholl and her team are here to help you every step of the way. Call Amber Scholl today at 651-738-4811 to learn more. Visit amfam.com. That's Look at the Roads. I'm Darren Kmeyer, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh no, the lights are flickering, the drain is backing up, the water heater just went cold. When home problems interrupt your day, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing. Same-day repairs, licensed pros, and clear pricing before work begins. For those oh no moments, call Randy's Electric and Plumbing.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Randy's Electric. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms will be passing through this evening. We'll keep an eye out for any severe threat. Everything clears out overnight tonight. 64 will be the low. Nice stretch of weather ahead. Partly cloudy, low 80s tomorrow. Mostly sunny both weekend days. Those highs will stay in the low 80s.
Mostly cloudy right now, 78 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
What's with the... You only have one app on your phone?
Everything you need all in one place. Live, streaming, podcasts, headlines, and more. From News Talk 830 WCCO. And always free on the Odyssey app. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRusha, fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Once again, here's Jason DeRusha.
$40 trillion in debt. That sounds alarming. Is it? I'm looking at U.S. debt clock, which, boy, if you want to go dizzy, go to usdebtclock.org, and they have about 4,000 debt calculators up there just to try to make you feel like an absolute disaster, that this is an absolute disaster. $40 trillion. This story broke yesterday, and I don't know about you guys, but I was left with this question of like, is this, it feels bad. I remember back when we used to care about the national debt, it feels like we have not really cared about the national debt for quite a while. Pat Rehkamp is a senior financial writer with 1834, a division of Old National Bank, and he is with us to well, at least share what Pat can about whether or not we should care about this. Pat, I know people like you care about the debt, right?
Well, I think we're all going to care. It's going to impact a lot of things within the economy if the nation doesn't get this debt issue under control.
So for a long time, there's been this attitude of like, well, the idea of being concerned about the debt is an old-fashioned economic principle, and it's all sort of just financial mumbo-jumbo. It's just on the ledger sheet.
Maybe. I mean, the $40 trillion figure, it makes a nice headline, right? That's why
it's alarming. Yes, it was like breaking news yesterday, $40 trillion, and you say like, holy crap, what are we doing?
I think a couple of things, though. There were some forecasts from a couple of years ago. They were expecting us to hit $40 trillion 2028, 2 years earlier than expected. So this is a snowballing effect here.
Is this... So people always want to take government spending and say like, well, if I ran my household like the government did, like, you know, or if I ran my business, I'd be put under.
Sure.
There's some validity to that, but this also is like, do we owe somebody $40 trillion? Like, what is this exactly?
Well, individuals, institutions, other governments, they end up buying this debt. So yes, I mean, it is out there and it is real. I think what's going to be real curious what happens though is now interest on the debt is annually running at $1 trillion with a T. That's just the interest.
So that's why this thing has been like doubling.
That's what's increasing the size of the debt load dramatically. And think about it, 1 trillion. You could use that on interstates. You could use it for tax cuts. I mean, you could fill a whole whiteboard of things you want to use that money with. And it's literally just to service the debt. It's become the second largest line item in the government's expense.
There used to be an argument made anyway that like, well, yeah, like the spending, the way we were spending the money was generating more activity and it was better for the economy. And so worrying about the debt is not the most important thing to worry about. Is there a point where it gets so high where you're like, well, now it is the most important thing to worry about?
There's some arguments to that where they like to look at debt to GDP, which is just how big is the economic output of the country versus its debt load. I get some of that, even though those numbers are getting alarming.
I don't know. I'm looking at a chart right now that shows debt to GDP, and our national debt is 123%.
I haven't seen any forecasts either that expect that to go down anytime soon. At the current trajectory, it's only going to get worse.
Both political parties, it's Republicans who have made the most hay about the national debt over the years, and it's also Republican administrations who have done their part to add to the national debt as well. So I don't know. Does any political party have a claim to being the debt hawks? I guess
I don't think either party typically cares about it now. I mean, when's the last time you've heard of any politician really talk about the debt and what's going on with this? But it's going to become an issue, and if the politicians don't get serious about this sooner or later, the bond market's going to care, and then things will get I think pretty interesting.
And that's the question, right? Because the stock market has been pretty hot.
Yes,
and there are concerns about Treasury.
That's just it. The yields, which is just the interest rate on the treasuries, those have been rising. Well, why do we care? The 10-year U.S. Treasury, very closely tied to what 30-year fixed mortgage rates go for. 10-year Treasury yields have been up. Guess what? 30-year fixed mortgages have been up, which is the real popular lending tool for houses. I think now we're seeing 30-year fixed mortgages around 6.7%. The U.S. 10-year Treasury, if that goes above 5, I think it's pretty reasonable to expect mortgage rates above 7%. And the housing market's been pretty tough to begin with.
When you look at the ability to pay this back, right, part of the reason that the U.S. is able to issue debt is that investors trust that the government will pay it back.
We're good for it. That's exactly right. It's considered a safe haven asset. The U.S. hasn't defaulted on its debt, so it gets a lot of leeway on this.
At $40 trillion, do you start?
There's been some chatter within the market that some investors are thinking when's enough is enough. And you're seeing yields rise, the interest rates rise on them to attract more buyers. There's been a couple of things going on that way. Interest rates are going up. Corporate bond issuance. All these mega tech AI companies are issuing a ton of debt to fund these data centers. Other countries, too, are issuing a lot of debt to fund their various projects. It just creates a very crowded market for all this debt.
So many companies, so many big financial, big tech,
exactly,
and big government. Just everybody's trying to borrow money.
Everyone's doing it, and there's only so many buyers for all this debt, so they have to raise rates to attract buyers.
Pat Rehkamp is with 1834. It's part of Old National Bank. So the question, if you're a young person, you're like, well, haven't we always? I mean, the national debt clock, sort of the billboard in New York City, has been a thing. It feels like forever.
It hasn't been, though.
It hasn't been.
2000, I was actually looking at this today. It was 2001 was the last year, I believe, the U.S. ran a surplus. And that was 4 or 5 years in a row they ran a surplus. Since then, 2020, 2002 to now, they've been running deficits. And it's been snowballing. Deficit spending is generally considered okay amongst developed nations. However, it's really been getting big figures. And we only have seen these type of big figures historically in major events like World War II, some big economic shock. Yes, we had COVID. Yes, there's the tensions with Iran, but these have generally been okay times.
Yeah.
And now this massive...
It doesn't feel like...
No.
I mean, yes, everything feels like a crisis today, but it doesn't feel like, holy crap, we should be borrowing trillions of dollars.
This isn't World War II where literally the entire globe is on edge. That's what makes...
So what are we doing?
That I don't know. I wish I had a good answer to that one,
Yeah.
but nobody seems to care about this. And again, the bond market will start to take notice of this at some point. You're going to see yields and interest rates go up.
You mentioned other countries are carrying some big debt loads.
They are.
Similar to us or not quite?
From the most recent figures that I have, China's the next closest, and it's about half of what the U.S.'s debt total is. Any real developed nation, Japan, big debt loads, United Kingdom, France, Italy, India, Germany, they're all deficit spending to a degree. Now, the U.S. economy is a lot bigger too, so there's a theory that we can afford it. But is this an area that you want to be number one at as far as total debt load?
I mean, here's the thing, Pat. Like, even when you look at our cities and our states where by statute they're required to run a balanced budget,
yes.
It is not, I mean, it's a political loser to do what Mayor Fry and Mayor Herr are doing in Minneapolis and St. Paul, which is talking about making cuts and raising taxes. And their cuts, I mean, Minneapolis is like, we're eliminating 100 jobs. They're really eliminating like 7. It's just a bunch of open positions, right?
Sure.
No one has the guts to make large scale cuts because everything has a constituency that thinks it's important. And most of this stuff is important. It's good. But politically, who's voting for someone to, well, let's go reduce the debt. We're going to feel so good when that 40 trillion is down to 36 trillion.
Well, that's just it. I mean, again, no one's really talking about it. Now,
that's not going to be my campaign. I'm never going to get elected if I tell people I'm going to reduce the debt.
It's not going to get you elected, but it's an unavoidable issue at some point. I mean, right now, the U.S. is running about a $2 trillion deficit. So you can either cut spending by $1 trillion and raise taxes by $1 trillion or some combination of that. There's no political appetite to do that.
Right. Right. But there is an end point at some point, you think, right?
Is there an end point on it? I mean, I suppose.
Are we going to hit 100 trillion and you guys are going to, you and me are going to be back talking about that?
Well, I think we're going to be old men by that point, hopefully.
I don't know.
Unless we do it anytime soon. It's hard to know where this is going to go. But I mean, I do keep going back to this point is they're going to have to address it at some point because if they don't, yields on U.S. treasuries are going to keep going up. It's going to push mortgage rates up even higher. And people are pretty agitated at 6.7% mortgages versus the 3.1% we got used to.
President Trump in 2016 said he was going to eliminate the national debt.
It stands at 40 trillion. So that didn't happen.
Didn't quite work out. It's tough. I mean, even like when Elon Musk and Doge kind of went to try to reduce federal spending, it's tough. It's tough to fight the sort of the boulder that just rolls downhill, you know.
The thing I'll say about Doge, and from a financial aspect, I think it was somewhat interesting, is he did a lot of stuff around the margins. What are the big outlays within federal government? Social Security, Medicare, the net interest on the debt, and defense. Those are pretty tough areas to cut.
Yeah. It's super interesting stuff. 40 trillion. It feels bad. Can't we just print more money?
Well, that's kind of what we're doing now. Yes. The debt issuance has been going up to help fund what's going on. Now, I don't want to make this alarmist. It's not like government workers are sort of losing paychecks immediately or somehow Medicare is just going to stop. That's not what's going to happen in this case.
Texter says, I will vote for someone who will reduce the debt. There's at least one vote.
I'd have to look at what congressional districts run.
It used to be a popular campaigning thing, but now the popular way to campaign is you just give stuff away to everybody.
Well, yeah,
and you say you're going to cut the waste. Well, then you get to office and everyone's like, well, that's not waste. That's my favorite program.
Right. That's exactly it.
Oof. Pat, good stuff. Thank you for shedding a little light on all this for us.
Thanks, Jason.
Pat Rehkamp, 1834, senior financial writer there, division of Old National Bank. Let's break. In a minute, we talked a little bit about the president. There's been more action today. And look, I know a lot of you guys want to rag on Donald Trump, but can you blame the guy for wanting his name on the Kennedy Center? They said he couldn't have his name. They couldn't call it the Trump Kennedy Center. Now they want to put it on. I would like to know, what would you like your name on? What would you like? Because you deserve it. Name something after you. 651-461-9226. You better believe that I've been thinking about what I would name after me. I mean, I have a little bit of the Trump spirit in me, don't you think? There's a little bit. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha is fueled by Luther Kia of Bloomington. Always online at lutherkiaofbloomington.com.
State Fair is right around the corner, and you have one spot that you need to add to your list of places to visit at the fairground. It is the Culligan Hydration Station. It's Jason. I know what you're thinking. Jason, you're telling me to go to the Culligan. It's free. You can bring your own water bottle from home, and you can fill it up with delicious, pure Culligan water. I am a Culligan customer at home. Man, it is a game changer because I live in Maple Grove. Our water is gross. Out of the tap, it doesn't taste good. It's hard. It was wrecking my dishwasher. It was wrecking my, we had all sorts of problems with appliances at our house. Not anymore. Water softener took care of that. And at the hydration station at the State Fair, you can check out their water softener or drinking water system. So yeah, you got the softener. You could go reverse osmosis drinking water system. That's what we put in our kitchen. Woo! Clear ice, clear water. Culligan is going to give you $100 off that RO system, $200 off a water softener, $200 off a whole home water filter. Get them both. They're going to give you extra money. You could save up to $500 on qualifying Culligan products. So go check it out. Go visit the Culligan Hydration Station. You know what? Have a bottle of water on DeRusha. Go get it at the Culligan Hydration Station. It is at the intersection of Cosgrove and Dan Patch Avenue, right near the Snelling entrance of the fair. This is a limited time offer. See your dealer for details.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro. Heating and cooling.
The warm days of summer have arrived. You're going to want to have an AC in your house. Call Metro Heating and Cooling. We'll be happy to help you choose the AC system that's right for your home and wallet. Get a free estimate at metroheating.com. Metro Heating and Cooling of Maplewood.
Get your home into the comfort zone with Metro Heating and Cooling.
Metroheating.com.
So when do you need to start thinking about a will? Find out at gutmanlaw.com. What is a living trust, and do you need this? Find out at gutmanlaw.com. What about a power of attorney or probate? We'll get all the answers to your questions when you schedule a free attorney consultation at, gutmanlaw.com. It's Jordana, and I didn't know the first thing about wills, living trusts, estate planning, but I didn't need to. All I did was reach out to my friend Matt Gutman and his partner Jamie Ref Wagner. This is their focus: wills, trust, probate, estate plans. Now knowing that my loved ones will be taken care of no matter what helps me sleep at night. Don't wait until it's too late to get these things taken care of. You can schedule a free, no-hassle consultation right on the website. Say it with me, gutmanlaw.com. Gutmanlaw.com, giving you peace of mind today for tomorrow. It's not just a slogan. I sleep better at night now that I have my estate plan in place. Thanks to Matt Gutman and Jamie.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices. $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
I felt a jackhammering pain in my jaw.
Like someone sawing my bones.
Barbed wire in my shoulder.
Like a cattle prod in my hip.
Like I put my foot in a blender.
Pain is different for everyone. But where pain starts, Jurnavix suzetrigine begins. Jurnavix is a non-opioid 50-milligram prescription tablet for adults with moderate to severe acute pain that reduces pain signals before they reach the brain. Before those signals tell the brain to feel
like I punched an angry beehive.
And pain reduction can finally begin. Do not take Jurnavix with CYP3A inhibitors. Avoid use with grapefruit or liver problems, as these may increase side effects. Tell your doctor about all your medicines if you are pregnant or breastfeeding. Jurnavix may make certain medicines and birth control less effective. Side effects include itching, muscle spasms, rash, and elevated muscle enzymes. To learn more about Jurnavix, ask your doctor. Call 1-833-589-PAIN or visit Jurnavix.com.
Steering you through what matters. Drive Time with DeRusha. Tuned up and rolling thanks to Luther Kia of Bloomington.
I wish I could have balled in the penny. I only sold 'cause I needed
Coming to you
money.
live from the Jason DeRusha Memorial. Well, we don't want a memorial. We don't want to kill me. Well, maybe some of you do.
Yeah, let's not do that yet.
I'm not going to lie. I think it would be cool to like have a building at your alma mater named after you. Right? Like, don't
So you want something at Marquette?
Yeah, I'd love to have something at Marquette named after me.
You know, that usually comes with like a giant donation.
I
right?
know. And I donate to Marquette University.
No, I said giant donation.
That's right. So currently, I probably could get naming rights to a urinal. That's about what. This is the Jason DeRusha pisser. Here you go. Can you say pisser on the radio? Is that
You just did.
all right? It's National Radio Day. Celebrate this, everybody. That's right. What would, if you could have anything named after you? 651-461-9226. On YouTube, Joe says he would lend his name to a 24/7 coffee shop microbrewery. That name recognition would support the business model for sure, he says. Joe Bear, BHR. Solid name.
Absolutely.
Solid name. Jason DeRusha, my name gets mispronounced all the time.
DeRusha.
Yeah. That's fine. Texter says, I would like, there's an island in Lake Pepin. I'd like to name after my grandfather. That's nice. Another texter, DeRusha, you should get a wastewater treatment plant named after you like Dave Barry did. I was thinking about this earlier today because, you know, like it's the latest drama about whatever Trump wants to get everything named after himself. Do you think Trump wants it named after himself, or do you think it's the sycophants who think he's going to be pleased?
Well, I mean, I think they think he's going to be pleased because he wants the stuff named after him. Yes. I don't know that those are mutually exclusive is my point.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was showing off the helipad today. I was
So
trying to
this
find
was
the
the
sound in there.
helipad.
Yeah, he was trying to show off the helipad today. And I think he had some sort of either etching or maybe he was signing wet concrete, or I don't know exactly, but he was getting his name affixed to the helipad and was joking that they won't be able to take this down, referencing the Kennedy Center where they took his name down temporarily, although it appears that's going back up. So
It is a strange sort of obsession, but to me, it's sort of an understandable obsession, because don't you want to be remembered? There's something about having something named after you that gives a little bit of comfort in that we know that our time here is temporary, especially if you're someone such that you think you're worthy of running for president, that you actually do it, and then you become president. You know you're going to be remembered, but, you know, there's still like even the people with the biggest egos are also the most delicate and the most like
happy National Radio Day.
Self-doubting. Speaking as someone who has spent my entire career surrounded by people who are outwardly egotistical,
yeah,
and inwardly incredibly insecure.
Yes.
And to me, like,
amazing how often that goes together.
Yeah, right. That's part of the bit, right? So the president signed this granite helipad with hand-carved lettering, and it's the image of this thing. It's quite something.
You did ask an interesting question though. Don't you want to be remembered?
Right.
And I guess the instinct that comes, or the instant answer that comes into my brain with that is, well, yeah, I want to be remembered by people whose lives I made an impact in, by people who maybe, I don't know, somehow made better decisions or something out of knowing me That's the kind of remembrance that I want. Because I don't think when you affix your name to things, to buildings, to parks, to lakes, I mean, do people really remember who that person was? We just had that whole fight, obviously, over Bidet-McCoska, right?
Right.
And people were screaming and hollering about erasing of history.
Erasing the history of
And 95% of the
Calhoun.
people that were screaming about erasing history had no idea who John C. Calhoun was. So,
well, how else are we supposed to learn history if not for the name of a lake?
I don't know, maybe a book in a classroom? Crazy idea, I know. But I don't know that affixing your name to stuff necessarily does that.
No, but it makes you feel better. Like, wouldn't you like something named after you?
I would like to be remembered by people whose lives I had an impact in. If that results in putting a name on something, fine. But I don't care to have my name on a building personally or anything else.
Gabriel Johnson's skate park for the elderly. That's nice.
Why not?
What I would like to do is I would like my name right behind me, like right on this wall.
Okay.
Like a plaque large enough. So someday when like all of the shows are on camera, you've got my name just irritating the living daylights out of Anita, out of Adam, out
everybody,
of Chad.
all of them.
Shaletta when she's in, everybody would be so pissed.
Well, Shaletta would get her own plaque and try to hang it on top of your plaque.
Yeah,
so
it's true. Dan Gouget, who runs the excellent Pie Chasers Facebook group. It's a pizza-focused Facebook group. Would like the Leaning Tower of Pizza to be named after him as the Leaning Tower of Pie Chasers. I think that's pretty good.
Sure.
Another texter wants to see his or her name on the Trump building in New York. Another texter says, I'd like to see my name on the mailbox with temporary letters that could be removed when the next owner goes in. All right. I wouldn't mind if I could have a John Russell Memorial Dunkin' Donuts frying machine. That would be pretty good.
When you initially pitched this idea of what would we name after ourselves at the radio station.
Yeah, right.
I immediately thought for you
of
the production studio down the hall. You don't get the big main studio.
Right.
We've got to reserve that for a corporation that wants to give us a little bit of dollars, right? And we'll name the studio after you. You get the production studio down the hall that you like to haunt in.
That I like to do my work in.
You can have that one.
All
I think
right.
that's fine.
I'll take that.
Me, if
a
you
DeRusha
insisted,
studio would be like, what an honor.
Yeah, right?
That'd be great.
For me, I think the appropriate thing to name after me here, and again, I'd rather not, but that doesn't fit the bit. The Nerve Center. Can you turn the camera and kind of show the people the Nerve Center through that window there? I don't know if it'll reflect or not. But that's the Nerve Center of WCCO right there, if you're watching us on YouTube. All of the engineering stuff in there, bells, switches. I like to think of myself as the nerve center of this show, Jason. So if you're going to name something after me, maybe that room in there should be named.
How about the delay? You could it could be the Dan Cook 7
Well, the delay's
delay.
in the room, so
That's part
why
of
are
it.
you trying to shrink me down from
To
the
the
room
delay?
just to the delay? That seems rather reductive on your part.
It is. Text away. What what would you like named after you? Or what should we name after me? Maybe even better. 651-461-9226. One texter has an idea. What are you guys naming after me? This is much better. This is a better idea for a segment. Tell me more about me. Wonderful. Drive time back in just a minute.
Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
Chinese AI startup DeepSeek is raising $8 billion in its second funding round, which would value the firm at around $74 billion. DeepSeek recently launched a new version of its flagship AI model that is much cheaper than rival models for benchmark tests, with artificial analysis reporting that DeepSeek's V4 Flash is 100 times cheaper than Anthropic's Claude Fable 5. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Correctly. Let's talk about pork. This is the best time of year in Minnesota, don't you think? We're at that end of summer. Can almost taste fall. Family gatherings coming together. You know that Minnesota pork is a part of my summertime hangouts, whether it's a juicy pork burger, a smoky sausage, or perfect ribs that end up stealing the spotlight. We are supporting 3,000 family farmers, and we're doing it with tender pulled pork bowls. Yeah, you can get that recipe at tastewhatporkcando.com. I love the ability to have fresh, light, summery dishes and get lean, protein, tons of flavor, all of that on the table at tastewhatporkcando.com. Big flavor, simple prep, and guaranteed crowd pleasers. That's what it's all about, from the first bite to the last. I want you to make your cookout unforgettable, and pork, it's in it. It's got to be in it. 3,000 family farmers. You're supporting them. You're supporting their neighbors. You're supporting a huge driver of the agricultural economy in this state. Minnesota pork gets shipped all over the state, all over the Midwest, all over the country, and yes, all over the world. Get to your grocery store. Get to your butcher shop. Let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight.
All right, it's officially the most wonderful time of the year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, 20% off for teachers, and more. Check out all the deals at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
This state fair season, the best deal isn't on the fairgrounds. It's at Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, where Broadway's best musicals come to life. And here's a winning state fair deal for free dinner when you purchase a ticket for the sizzling blockbuster Guys and Dolls, or on selected dates for Annie. You must order by September 10th, but don't wait. Call the box office or visit chanhassendt.com/fair26 and grab your seats today for Guys and Dolls, closing soon, or Annie, opening in October.
The best time to recommit to your gut health goals? Right now. Take charge of your gut with Nature Made. Our clinically studied ingredients support digestive health. Digestive enzymes break down nutrients. Probiotic and prebiotic fiber nourish good gut bacteria. And super greens with probiotics empower daily digestive health. Try the full lineup of gut health support from Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist-recommended vitamin and supplement brand. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
What do parents think of back to school at Staples, where 24-pack Crayola crayons are just 50 cents?
Staples has folders, notebooks, and pens at great prices.
I'm smiling from ear to ear.
It's the most wonderful time.
Mom, I missed the bus of the year.
It's a wonderful time at Staples, where school supplies start at just 25 cents. Staples. That was easy. Visit your local Staples today or shop online and in the app. Ends 9/12. Exclusions apply.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Highway 13 northbound, a wreck between County Road 5 and Valley Drive down in Burnsville is slowing things a little bit. 94 eastbound, a traffic incident between Dale Street and Marion Kellogg over there in St. Paul. Highway 51 southbound, an accident between St. Anthony Avenue and 94. That one's over in St. Paul also. 35E northbound, there's a crash at St. Clair Avenue entrance ramp. That slowdown starts back at Bay Street, so be aware of that one. What if we call it the DeRusha Traffic Report? The Rush Hour Traffic Report.
Oh,
we'll change it.
I love it.
How about that?
This place, Derek, this place is going to charge me for that. You know
somebody's going to get paid.
That's right. That's right. Maybe you could name the mattress that you found out on the highway earlier after me.
There was some similarities there. I could see that happening. I'm Darren with News Talk 830 WCCO.
Type JTR on your computer for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, and more. Serving the Twin Cities Metro. For a free estimate, visit jtrroofinginc.com.
JTR, roofing and siding, that's who we are.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
JTR Roofing bringing us the Chris Schaefer forecast.
Scattered showers and thunderstorms rolling through by evening. Everything clearing out later on tonight. Mostly cloudy down to 64. The next couple of days look quite nice. Partly cloudy and 82 for our Friday. This weekend, plenty of sunshine both days. Highs stay in the low 80s. Next best chance of rain likely next Tuesday.
It is 78 degrees. No rain in the Twin Cities right now here on CCO.
Jason DeRusha.
I don't think he's funny. I don't think he's been funny for years.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
The people are all over it, Dan. When I asked for ideas of what should be named after me. I mean, why not? Why not? Andrew on YouTube says Carnes and Underwood should be renamed Jason and DeRusha. Now, how awesome would that be if everybody located at that intersection for 2 weeks, like in their broadcast or whatever, would be like, we're located at the intersection of Jason and DeRusha. That would be awesome.
While you were around to appreciate it, but I ask you again, and to my point earlier, do you know who Mr. Carnes or Mrs. Underwood are? Eventually, those just become names that nobody knows.
That's true, and that's fine.
Okay, that's what I'm saying. As long as you're good with it.
I mean, I know that, like, you know, if you have a college building named after you, like a dorm, and you live in that dorm, don't you, like, Google the name to see what it was? Today, college kids Google the name so they can figure out if they're going to be outraged about it and protest to get them to change the name. Now, I'm sure, like, if some building were named after me at Marquette University, which, can you get a building named after you for donating $5,000 a year? Probably not.
Probably not. Maybe a set of steak knives.
Like, when people Google me and they're like, this guy, like, they could find a take that would make them mad.
Probably,
I'm sure.
A lot of people coming up with urinals. I don't know what that's about.
The hidden row of Biffies at the grocery store by the barn at the State Fair should be called DeRushing Row. They should change the Ego lawnmower to the Jason DeRusha lawnmower. That's very good. Very good.
A lot of people talking about the pergola out at the State Fair. Again, if you haven't heard the news, those of you that have been afternoon radio fans out at the State Fair for years know you get baked, and not that kind of baked. Different baked in the sun, sitting in the benches outside of WCCO radio in the afternoon. But thanks to our friends at Linda's Construction, they've constructed this new pergola out there, so you will have beautiful shade while you watch the afternoon shows here on WCCO radio. It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to put up a big sign.
You're going to have to beat noon to 3 to do it.
You think that show has enough preparation to go put a sign and give themselves naming rights?
All the years that he's been complaining and asking for something like this,
no,
he's going to be there first thing Thursday morning to stake his claim.
Well, yeah, I'm coming out there Wednesday. Chad's playing checkers.
Why are you out there on Wednesday?
So I could put the sign up and call it the Jason DeRusha Pergola. We got to beat them, Dan. Where's your innovation? You're the
look.
You called yourself the
I get paid to be
center of this thing.
I get paid to be at the fair for 7 days.
Oh my gosh!
And if you think I'm coming out there earlier, you're out your mind.
True inspiration. I don't mean to bring up any old issues, but Jason certainly deserves a snowplow named after him. Similarly, a texter said, "I named my car Jason DeSlusha."
Oh, that's very kind.
Dan Cooper on YouTube says, "I take credit for Cooper Street at the fairgrounds."
Why not, right?
That's pretty good, Dan. Yeah, why wouldn't you?
Now, is that like Kramer and Seinfeld where you got to paint the lines in it and, clean it up like it's a highway
Probably,
thing?
if it's your street.
You're going to claim it, I'm just saying.
Our friend Dula says, also wants me to have a snowplow, but he's suggesting calling it Jason Snows Us Again. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think the Ego lawnmower is probably the best.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
That's very creative. Well done by that listener.
Now, our friend Bill McCreevy texted in and enjoyed how this segment went from enough about me and let me tell you a little bit about myself. I did ask Bill if I could maybe get like a casket model named after me. You know, you're going through the catalog over there at Washburn McCreevy.
Hey, my dad just died. Can we get the DeRusha? Is that what you want?
Kinda, yeah. It'd be fine. Like, once I had a cocktail named after me at Lolo's in Stillwater.
Oh, that's nice.
And I was like, this is so cool. Like, finally, like I'm getting something named after me. This is awesome. And Joe, the owner, and Joe is an excellent bartender. Very creative with his cocktails. Really, really good. Joe's like, Jason, I named a cocktail after you. And Mark Rosen had a cocktail named after him.
Sure.
The cocktail that was named after me was called Kylie's Arm Candy. which still wasn't, it was named after Kylie. Now, I was the arm candy, so that was the joke. But was that really named after me? No, it's close. It was close.
Not in the way you wanted.
Not in the way I wanted, which was the genius, and that's how you know Joe's a good man.
Yeah.
Another texter says the toilets at CCO Radio could be called Jason DeFlusha. That's good.
It would be if they flushed on a regular basis.
There is that. Texter says I'd start a parade and name the Grand Marshal car after him. And then I wouldn't allow him to be the Grand Marshal.
Closed circuit to Maple Grove.
That'd be brilliant. That would be brilliant.
That's fantastic.
547.
Should we be mad that they're doing a better show at home?
I know. The texts are great. If I had better preparation, I would have come up with all these jokes. But I had to drop Sam at the airport today. It was a busy day for the DeRusha. In a minute. Airplane sex. Underrated? Overrated? Properly rated? We'll talk about that in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, if your oh no moment is in the lavatory of a 747, I do not want you to call Randy's. But for just about any oh no in your home, Randy's Electric and Plumbing is ready to come to the rescue. It's Jason here for my friends at Randy's. They are my first call when I have an oh no moment. Maybe it's a toilet that's not deflushing the way that you want it to. Maybe it's the sink that's sort of backed up and gurgling or never quite drains right. Maybe it's something more urgent where the hot water heater doesn't operate anymore or you've got problems with your electric circuits. Call Randy's should be the first thing that pops into your mind. Their website, callrandys.com. Randy's Electric and Plumbing has been serving homeowners throughout the Twin Cities and their oh no moments for more than 20 years. They're headquartered right in Maple Grove, but they'll come to you wherever you're at. And they come to you with a style of taking care of you that is the entire reason I want to tell their story. It's straightforward, it's honest, it's upfront pricing before they start. They text you and let you know the technician's on the way. It's all designed to calm your nerves in a moment that is undeniably nerve-wracking. Randy's does all sorts of other stuff, too. Preventative maintenance. They'll come do a whole audit of your house and check all your wiring or check all your plumbing. Learn more at callrandys.com, but just tuck it away for that emergency moment in your life. Turn that oh no into an oh, thank goodness Jason told me to call Randy's.
All right, News Talk 830 WCCO State Fair setup. Mic check 1. Good, thanks. If not a little over modulated. Okay, let's test the headphones. Clear and a little off-putting. Checking remote feed. Perfect. We're almost ready. Now we just need that pergola from Linda's Construction finished.
Yep, we're constructing an even better place for you to come and hang out with your favorite shows. Hope to see you at the Great Minnesota Get-Together. News Talk 830 WCCO.
If you own a business, you've heard it all. From fast funding to easy approvals, everyone says the same thing. LendSeek is different. We show you what you actually qualify for. LendSeek's AI-enabled platform matches you with funding options with no guesswork. Up to $5 million in as fast as 24 hours. If you've been in business over a year, doing at least $50,000 per month, apply for free with zero out-of-pocket costs and access to over 100 lenders. Start ready, stay ready. LendSeek.com. LendSeek.com.
The time to be outdoors is now. The weather is just lovely. It's Vanita here. Make your backyard a place you'll love spending time in with By the Yard's beautiful maintenance-free outdoor furniture, built to withstand the elements and designed for comfortable outdoor living. It is so fantastic to sit and relax in By the Yard furniture. Visit a showroom today and experience it for yourself. By the Yard, life is better outdoors.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance engineer at a beverage manufacturing plant, he starts his day knowing every line is ready to run because Grainger delivers the industrial-grade products he needs to keep mixers, conveyors, and packaging equipment moving. With Grainger's vast selection of bearings, belts, and motors, he keeps operations running smoothly, so nothing grinds to a halt. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Let's make this summer your best summer ever. Jason here for Luther Kia of Bloomington, and Luther Kia Bloomington wants to upgrade your ride. Outstanding prices, $399 a month. Sign and drive lease offers on Seltos, Sportage, Nero, and K5. Get out of here. Plus $750 owner loyalty cash on the stunning Kia Telluride and the Telluride Hybrid. Best cars for the money on the market. Check out their brand new facility, now open at 35W and 494. Luther Kia of Bloomington.com.
Hey, it's Jen Hatmaker. Here's what I've learned in midlife. Joy isn't the reward you earn after all the work is done. Joy is the work. That's what this new series on For the Love is all about. The sacred yes. It's choosing delight, rest, and pleasure on purpose. Because saying yes to yourself, that's the thing that finally lets you fill your table with everybody else. Come find your sacred yes with me. Follow and listen to For the Love wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Traffic is brought to you by Liuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. 35W southbound, we have stop-and-go traffic between 98th and Cliff Road. Over in Bloomington, Cedar Avenue southbound is jammed from 494 down to Nichols Road. 35W northbound has an accident between 13 and Cliff Road, also down there in Burnsville. Liuna, Minnesota reminds you to slow down in construction zones. The members of Liuna and their union contractors are building better infrastructure for you. So please slow down and pay attention to the road signs when you see orange and yellow. Brought to you by Liuna, Minnesota. Visit buildthenorth.com. That's traffic. I'm Darren K. Meyer. News Talk 830 WCCO.
B&M Tree Services, certified arborists offering tree trimming, storm cleanup, and full tree removal with professional service at prices you can afford. Call 1-800-569-9034 or visit bnmtree.com. Trusted, professional, reliable.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
CCO forecast brought to you by B&M Tree Service. Tonight, those showers and storms will move out. Low of 64 tomorrow. Looks great. Saturday looks better. 82, partly cloudy for Friday. Saturday, 81 and sunny. Gorgeous. Enjoy it. This is the summer you deserve after the heat and the smoke. Right now, it is 80 and cloudy on CCO.
Drive Time with DeRusha.
I wish you weren't right, but you are.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Bodega Premium High Octane, if it had wings, it'd be a plane.
Every morning, Dan Cook sends me about, 30, 40 story ideas, things that we possibly could talk about on the show. Headline: I tried airplane sex. It was awkward and disgusting. Sydney Summers, for sure her real name, Metro UK's sex columnist. Now, I don't know why Dan Cook sent this to me. Dan, have you ever attempted to join the Mile High Club?
Here's the thing.
Oh.
I don't even want to get up to go.
That was not a quick no.
Well, I mean, I'm getting there. I'm building to the no. I don't even want to get up out of my seat to use the bathroom.
She was building to the no also.
The last thing I want to do is try to squeeze into this little closet and say, hey, let's get something done.
Never again, I muttered, plopping myself down on my airplane seat. My partner, Seb, asterisk, not his real name, sat down next to me and sighed, yeah, not going through that again. We had just found out the Mile High Club was a scam. 30 minutes into our flight back to London from romantic Florence, we attempted to have sex in the airplane bathroom. I mean, first of all, like, I get it. You're a sex columnist. Like, you need some material. But, like, I mean, my wife is in the car right now on her way downtown. There is a chance she's listening to this. And I've always been honest with you guys, and I'm going to be honest with you here. I have tried to have sex with my wife in a bathroom before, but not in an airplane bathroom. Like, my God. Like, the flight attendants are, like, right there. And, like, I'm supposed to walk out afterwards? Like, look, when I'm done, I work up a sweat, you know? Like, I'm giving it my all. I'm not getting out of the airplane. And believe me, when she's done, she's, you know, not doing that. No way. Absolutely not. Private jet? Sure. Private jet for sure. Commercial? Come on. Now, I told you about the last time I was in first class, I ended up buying the soap because it smelled so good in the bathroom. That's all I'm doing. That's it. Using it and washing my hands. Cook, nothing you want to add after that?
Not since you said Alyssa might be listening.
I have some explaining to do after this if she is listening. If not, don't tell her. Don't tell her we said that. Continental Diamond. Time check is 5:57. Henry's next.
Talking construction law today with Blake Nelson, an attorney from Helmuth & Johnson. Blake, why is having the right legal support so important?
One delay, one payment issue, or one contract mistake can put an entire project at risk and be the difference between making and losing money. In Minnesota, contract terms, timing, and documentation matter.
How does Helmuth & Johnson help?
We help contractors, subcontractors, and property owners protect their rights, get paid, and keep projects moving.
Learn more at hjlawfirm.com. Helmuth & Johnson, on your side, at your side, for all your construction law needs.
There are times in life where you make a decision where you want to make sure you have the perfect amount of insurance. Some of us make bad choices. Sometimes it's nature comes at you. You never know. But I feel much better knowing I have the Canopy Group working for me. It's Jason for the Canopy Group, and they work for you too. The Canopy Group is different than most insurance agents. You got one agent, one company, that's it. Maybe you've been with the same guy or gal because your parents use them or grandparents or neighbors or whatever. The Canopy Group doesn't work for an insurance company. They work for you. 16 companies in their portfolio. They're going to match you with the best company for the best price. It's that simple. It actually is incredibly simple. Go to their website right now. Get a quote, thecanopygroup.com, or you can call 800-967-3389, The Canopy Group.
Mike Rowe here with another random fact. Those cracks on your walls aren't just cosmetic.